formed against me shall prosper. Oh, it won't work.
No weapon
formed against me. Give me that ad lib again.
No weapon.
One more time.
No weapon.
One more time.
No weapon.
Bitch.
Who the fuck y'all hoes think?
Okay, the facts are back.
So who the fuck y'all hoes think it was, bitch, or what time of day it was? Okay.
You gotta understand that this is a community-based project. We're not getting any funding from the government. I've seen bitches out there talking about, wait till Trump hears about this. Trump can suck my dick.
I got to wait till Tuesday. Okay. Oh my God. I just need to keep hearing that right there. Hey, you are awesomely awesome. And you're the best. You're the best blessed. Just hell. I can't even sound, you know what to say.
Had a vision for 20 in the morning, thinking of my little sister said morning. Struggling with realities, no maladies. Nowadays ain't the same, everything's changed. No Bowie, no Prince, and no Michael, no Andre Crouch and the Disciples, no Walter and Winter, Derek Goldie, no Whitney, no George Michael. Toys R Us gone bankrupt. Damn, they guitars hit it went bankrupt. Everything from my childhood's missing, man. Man, I swear it's such a fucked up feeling, man. I'm not mad, it's a simple observation. And I'm not sad, but it's not a celebration. I'm just trying to put the pieces back together, man. Everything's falling through my fingers like sand. It seems a tighter that I'm gripping. It seems more that I am slipping. I feel like I lost everything I love. And where's this alleged agape love? In churches ain't the same. Gospel music just ain't the same. R&B it just ain't the same. But y'all keep telling me it's the same. But I ain't feeling nothing, damn it. And I don't wanna reach up and grab it. Shots fired, get to ducking. Always knew they were up to something. This ain't no future when you're frontin'. And y'all know you still out here fool. I'm not a baby, bro, I'm grown. Don't leave me standing out here alone. That's why I wrote this song. Because I know I'm not alone. What are we out here doing? What are we out here saying? People don't care no more. So fuck it, I don't care no more. If this is too much for you to handle, I was always too much to handle. There ain't nothing new about me. You don't want authenticity. You don't want sincerity. 2020 brought me clarity. Now I see I took a hit for the team. Took a bullet for the dream that we would one day all be free, free from prejudice, free from sexism, free from bigotry. I die for creativity. I die for freedom to be free. I died and left a legacy. Oh, but baby, I'm still live through technology. After the sun, comes the rain. And after the storm, the sun will start shining. What tears of pain, and tears of pain, and tears of pain, and a dash of struggle. Just be patient. Your destiny will manifest. Yes, falls in the sand.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, y'all? Y'all, please forgive me. I was trying so hard to get this live done earlier, but shit keeps popping up. But that's how you work through stuff. No shade, no shade. So y'all, please forgive me. This is going to be a late night with Bubz. Hopefully it won't be too long because I'm on StreamYard. My OBS is acting a fool. And I'm low-key tired. I have some things after this live that I'm going to be doing. So we're not going to be on here too long. I just want to come through and show y'all some more evidence about what we're talking about. Okay, the Trump administration, baby. Or shall I say the trauma administration. Okay. It's producing a lot of the manifestations of fear-based ignorance. We're going to explore the minds of parents. I am not a parent, not yet, God willing, but I have parents who had to go through their own ego deaths in reference to loving their queer children, not just queer child, queer children. Because me and my sister are both queer. So they had to walk through that. The religious aspect, the shame aspect, the guilt aspect, the community aspect. And the reason why I continue to do these type of lives and speak so much about queerness is because a lot of y'all heterosexual people, a lot of y'all heterosexual parents, religious parents, hotep parents, black parents just don't fucking get it. And the sad reality is that y'all will get it eventually, even if that means crying and grieving over your child's casket. So yes, we about to tap into the fucking midnight hour in this BR. And if you have anything that you would like to share in opposition to what I'm saying, please share your thoughts. That's the point. That's the perspective of my lives. If I wanted to do an echo chamber, I can talk to other people and do echo chamber experiences. On YouTube, especially now in the social climate that we're in, it's all about learning and unlearning. And that's easier said than done, but damn it, it is a reality. That is something that I'm also employing within myself and that I encourage everyone else to do as well. But yes, What is going on, everybody? Hello. Hope that you all are doing well on this wonderful Sunday evening. I'm not going to expect a lot of people in this live tonight because it is kind of late. So shout out to the replay gang. All right. But we're definitely going to tap into the mindset of fear-based parents, not parents who are willing to face the fear, willing to educate themselves, to cultivate a better experience for their child. Because Whitney said the children are our future, correct? We're going to see what it's like for parents to not do that. How there's this generational curse of ignorance that is continuing this cycle to where now in 2025, we're having the same fucking conversations. That's a problem and that's an issue. And for individuals like myself who survived those queerphobic experiences as a child, yes, I'm going to use my life or part of my life to be able to help those who are coming in after me, to help make their lives better, but also hold y'all accountable, because what I'm starting to realize is that it was never about the children. I knew that, but a deeper revelation was given to me. It's more so about what people are going to think about y'all as parents and how you're actually going to have to work. Not just have the title of parent, but to actually put it into practice, which is not easy. But if you work through it with love, anything is possible. And baby, y'all not just worried about your kids. You're worried about everybody else's kids, because if those kids influence your child, then it's on you. It's in your house. Now everybody's looking at you. We're going to get into it. Anyway, before we get into it, y'all know I got to be smart about this type of stuff. Give me 1 second. Boom. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Okay? Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All the videos, songs, images, and graphics used in this live belong to their respective owners, okay? And BubzDaGawd does not claim any right over them. So now that we have that going on, first of all, shout out to DyQuell, Dontae. Okay, shout out to them. I'll just do this. Let's do this. Yeah, that's better. Shout out to DyQuell, Dontae. He shared a video on his platform in his community post, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was either DyQuell. I think it was DyQuell. It was DyQuell, not Mari, but DyQuell. Shout out to him. He shared a video that we're going to be getting into tonight from an individual named Ghosteady or Ghosteady or something. It's something with ghost. Okay. Who made a video explaining why parents would prefer or choose to not have a gay child. And I'm gonna let y'all know right now, there is dark humor in there. And I'm a person who understands dark humor. I'm pretty fluent in it. No shade. So I didn't feel or take any offense to that. Some of y'all might take some offense. I don't know. And if you do, my apologies. That's not the intent. But again, even if it does make you uncomfortable, this gives us the opportunity to work through being uncomfortable. Because that's the only way we're going to get to what it is that we want. And again, I'm not just getting up here just talking this shit out the side of my neck. This is shit I'm employing in my life. And baby, I know how the ego. Baby, the ego be ready to be on some bullshit. But that's a part of the process. And we're all learning and we're all growing. Okay? But don't stifle other people's growth, though, because you can't grow. Don't prevent other people from living their life and manifesting the best versions of their life because you don't know how to, or shall I say you're afraid to. So yes, let's get into that video real quick. And yeah, I'm gonna be pausing and stuff like that. Make sure I hit the like button. If you want to, hit the Cash App, no shade, girl, because this shit does take time, baby. Stuff that I can't get back. Trying to continue to make these points and to educate and to continue to etch in YouTube history, etch in the history books what queerphobia looks like in 2K and 4K in your face. Okay? But anyway, let's get into the video. Let me cut my music down. And we're going to try something else. Let's do this one. This is the one I always liked. All right, y'all. Let's get into it and bring this down. And now let's get into it. We'll do it like this. There we go. Let's get it.
All right, come on, son. We're almost there. Oh. Come on, son. Get over here. Come on, man. Oh. So what you got to tell me? Oh, Dad. Woo. All right, son. Why'd you want to come on this hunting trip with me? Well, Dad, I got something to tell you. What's that? I'm gay. You're what? Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh. I mean, all the signs were there. Who comes on a hunting trip with a pink sweater on? I mean, yeah. Oh. Oh, no. Do you not love me anymore? Huh? No, son. I do love you. And I do support you. Oh, yes. Oh, you do? Oh, yes. Oh. Ah! Oh, oh. Come back, son. Come back, son. Dad, Dad. I support you, son. Dad. I support you.
Now, again, that was dark humor. That was dark humor in reference to how he contexts that. But we also got to be honest. There are a lot of queer people who have met their end in that exact same manner. And if it's not by their parents, it's by DL trade. It's by another queerphobic person who does not like that person. And no shade for us in the queer community. We're going to have to find some ways to laugh at this shit to get through it. And that's why I say, girl, no shade. When it comes down to people wanting to talk shit, queer people, we got to do shit differently. That means if they laughing, bitch, let us join in the kikis and the hihis and the ha-has and the foo-la-las of it all. Let's all laugh. Again, it's equality across the board. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's his style of dark humor. And no shade is not for everybody. I'm just telling you what it is that I'm seeing it. So, let's continue.
Oh. Cool, I respawn. Time to get revenge on my homophobic dad.
How can I be homophobic? I blew his fucking brains out.
How's that for a YouTube intro? Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm sorry I've been MIA for about 2 to 3 weeks. And I also got a new phone. As you see, the video quality might be a lot better from now on. Also, the audio quality might be pretty good too.
Get your bum ass mic, you dirty, dusty bum, scoundrel, brokey.
Yeah, I talk a lot.
So I'm still in school, and I've been doing a lot of research surrounding gays.
You ain't gay, nigga. You ain't gonna touch me, nigga.
So in one of my college classes, we discuss a lot about gay issues and things like that. And it's just general discussion. It's kind of healthy because we have people of very different varieties in the class. There's Republican, Democrats, liberal, conservatives, everybody, all sorts of people in the class. So it's a good, healthy discussion that all brings us together and like actually good discussions about this. But I was very curious about one particular thing. Would most parents want their children to be gay? Nah, probably not. Imagine if you could change your child's sexual orientation. Would you want them to be straight? Yes. Would you want them to be gay? No. That's my genuine, honest opinion. This is not a video to hate on gay people or people in the community. This video is mainly for educational purposes. I'm here to strictly state the research and facts that I've researched and discovered while discussing this topic or, you know, finding an answer to this question.
So again, we have an individual who is genuinely trying to understand the queer experience. I'm not talking about understand as far as let me bend over, let me throw it back. We're not talking about that. We're talking about simply understanding people beyond the stereotype, beyond the fear-based labels. And for black motherfuckers, I'm still confused in the head on how y'all can still sit here and be queerphobic when queerphobia and racism is literally the same thing. There is a discrimination based on something. And the gag is that black people are very homophobic. I can say this from my own experiences. I experienced queerphobia from my black brothers and sisters before I did from anybody who was not black. And no shade, we got the Black Anarchist podcast in the building. Shout out to him. He said if they don't want gay children, they shouldn't create children in the first place. They were lucky to have children born with 10 toes and 10 fingers. Exactly. Be grateful that you have a healthy child. But we're going to get deep off into it with the whole parental thing. Because I don't have to be a parent, meaning I have created children, in order for me to understand and respect children, because I was once a child, and maybe some of y'all had lost touch with some of y'all innocence. And if you have, you can get back in touch with that. It's never been lost. It's never gone. It's just that this world has taught us to fear it. Or better yet, don't protect it, which is why the real people who are talking this shit are the ones who are actually harming the children. We gonna get into all of that. He says, if they don't want kids, okay, you said it again. Okay, I got you, just changed it up. Make sure y'all support the Black Anarchist podcast book, Blame It on the Dress. Okay, let's continue.
Really has been on my mind as I've been researching LGBTQ. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I'm not saying all those letters. LGBTQ plus equals gay. It's another word for gay. L equals gay. G equals gay. Bi equals sometimes gay. Transgender equals, we're not even going to get into them. They're just gay. And queer is just weird gay. And I'm weird. I like being weird. I'm just going to say the gay community because it's gay. I'm not saying.
Now, no shade. I just say the queer community because LGBTQIA, I already stutter. I can't be saying all that type of shit like that because I'm going to mess up. No shade. But I would prefer the word queer community because it is an umbrella term. It deals with sexuality and gender expression. Basically a community of those that y'all have rejected. The misfits have found their own people. It's like the drama club people finding their own people, if you will. That's how they treat the queer community. You just heard him say that I don't give a fuck about the L, the G, the B, the T, the Q, the I, the plus, whatever. It's all gay to me. And we have heard that. That's why that's why people conflate drag queens with trans people. When they are literally not the same thing. But they have privilege to where it's like, well, I don't have to really listen to the facts. I don't have to really care about the facts. Because again, we're going to take a listen, not a look, but a listen to some of the Jubilee clips a few months ago from an individual. I forgot his name, no shade, a white dude. Y'all know who he is, girl. It's in the description box below, no shade. But he was talking or debating people about the queer experience, and they continue to disregard his talking points. And if they were debating the fact that they agree with his talking points, they would have lost already, because in a debate, your point is to get your point across. That is what the goal is, not to agree with the person, because when you do, you fail. So they all failed in that. Let's continue.
That as an insult. It's just, you guys are gay.
I didn't say gay to mean stupid or dumb. I said gay to mean gay. Why should I have to apologize? I saw gay, so I said gay. That ain't bullying. That's an astute observation. Did the laws of the universe change and nobody told me? Niggas gotta apologize for being right.
So for this assignment, I've been researching the experiences of gay children. Old or young, doesn't really matter. Because I wanted to see what the statistics is. And if parents are truly accepting of their kids, or are they secretly just like, oh God, I gotta accept it or I'm gonna get canceled. So here's what I found. This is all my writing and all my research. I'm generally drawing from my essay that I wrote, and I'm just kind of reading based off that. And I'm also going to include all the research I've done and all the references and links in the link below, so you can see what I'm researching or what I researched, and make your own sound judgment based off that. The 2020 Gallup poll found that 70% of Americans will accept a gay or lesbian child. Now that's kind of impressive. Me thinking off the bat like, oh, that's kind of cool. I mean, not for me.
Once you open your eyes, you'll see that you're wrong about each and every one of them.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
But that doesn't really capture what plays out in reality. But if we look deeper into the data, we see that gay people face higher rates of suicide, they have more mental health problems, and they face more discrimination, more than straight people. According to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, gay people are 4 times more likely, or gay children more specifically, or gay youth are 4 times more likely to commit suicide than their straight counterparts. The Trevor Project found that 40% of gay youth are seriously considering killing themselves within the past year. And I think that's actually terrible. I think that's very detrimental. And I really, my heart goes out for anybody who wants to contemplate suicide or is dealing with discrimination or is even dealing with mental health issues. I'm not gonna lie, I have a serious heart for anybody. I don't care if gay, straight, white, black, white, blah, 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 I could care less. I've had very close friends, even best friends, commit suicide. So that actually hits very deep and close to home for me. So I don't want no kids feeling that way, gay or straight. You guys have to realize that suicide, rates or that need for suicide, that's significantly higher than the national average for regular suicides. So the fact that gay kids or gay people are going through the struggle, my heart's out for you. I do not want you guys to commit suicide.
Again, because from the Jubilee videos and even on TikTok, there are stats being thrown all around. Well, 100% and 20% and 30% and 25% and all. Are you taking the time out to research them for yourselves? Which means, are you taking the time out to go read and see and verify for yourself? And unfortunately, a lot of people are not going to do that when it comes down to queerness. He just stated that earlier. Seems like Republicans, a lot of people are becoming more progressive about, the queer community. Like, we have a gay child and lesbian child. But because they think that's the end all be all, and there are other expressions of sexuality, of gender expression, the infinite expressions of God's source universe consciousness is too much for them to handle. Well, you ain't got to do it. The information is for those who are able to retain it. And that may be your child, because guess what? Your child is a new generation. They're coming in willing to learn and to experience and to see things differently. And the goal is for them to be better. But especially in the black community, it seems like the reason why a lot of people don't like gay, especially with men, is because they're saying, oh, well, it's enough to be black. You want to put gay on top of that, as if though I asked for this shit. Then he shares about the actual grim reality of youth, queer youth, individuals trying to figure shit out, because everybody's saying all the healthy representation is bad, all the healthy representation is evil or demonic. So when you don't have any healthy representation around you to ground you in reality, but you have all this fear-based hell and fire brimstone, judgmental ass energy towards you, that's going to want to drop to influence somebody, and in some cases push people to take their own lives. And I can say that with certainty because I was one of them. Again, if you check out my Wonderfully Made doc, 3 videos, in my youth, I talk about how I contemplated and actually acted out the process of trying to take my own life. But then we hear about, oh, I don't want that around my child. I don't want that around my child. And then your child hears that shit. And when they go around other queer youth like them in their age range, they're spewing your hatred. They're spewing your vitriol. They're spewing your fear, your ignorance. And all I'm going to say is, there's going to come a time where you and your children going to learn, which means that your child going to pick on the wrong queer person and they're going to pick a book up and slap the shit out of your damn son. Y'all sit up here and talk about school outings and stuff like that, but y'all don't want to understand or try to figure out how this happened. Y'all react at the end result, but not what led up to that. The fuck? Anyway, let's continue.
I want you guys to get that mental help you need in order to get yourself on the right path. I'm a Christian, so of course I don't believe in that, but I don't judge people in that way. I love everybody. I could care less. I have plenty of gay friends. I have plenty of lesbian friends. I was about to shoot somebody. But this is why I ask,
No shade. Why does he look like the unique love child of Kev on Stage and Nico's aesthetic? Just wanted to say that. No shade to him. I'm just saying it just really hit me.
This question: if parents knew about the risks and struggles that gay children face dealing with all these statistics I just named, would they still be as accepting? Because they don't want their child to be more likely to commit suicide than a straight kid. So would they want their child, if they, oh, yes, son, I accept you, or daughter, I accept you the way you are, even though you're more likely to face discrimination, even though you're more likely to commit suicide, even though you're more likely to have a mental disability. You know, would we really accept that? Knowing these statistics? No, we wouldn't. Here's where my real personal thoughts come in. Parents really just want to protect their kids. You know, they of course, no parent wants their son or daughter to have a worse life than they had. No parent wants their child or daughter going through something significantly worse or a significantly worse experience than they did. I think that's just reality. Parents are loving, at least good parents are. And I think most parents are good parents. At least I hope so. You know, I didn't do any data on that. Don't quote me on that one. Okay, much better. Hey, it's the middle of the video, and you still didn't like, comment, or subscribe yet, or do 10 push-ups. So
do some push-ups. Y'all ain't like my shit.
Comment, subscribe, and do 10 push-ups. All right? I mean, being gay in many parts of the world can still lead to a whole bunch of like major issues.
Now, before he continues with this part of the video, yes, I understand and I get it. Parents knowing the statistics, not educating themselves further about the statistics, not doing further research, exploration, trying to understand, talking to queer people, none of that, just what society says can happen. But again, y'all don't ask the questions on what contributes to that. And then when you have queer people like myself, like CTV, like others who have had these very depressive or self-ideated type of moments in their lives, in their childhoods, because of how society was treating them, how religion, how family, how friends, how the world around them was treating them, when we actually survive those experiences and learn from them, and then end up trying to give back or pay it forward for those coming behind us, here comes the parents who were once children that we grew up with, who still homophobic as fuck, queerphobic as fuck, passing the baton of ignorance, of fear, down to their child. But then would have the nerve to scream racism if a white person did it to them. It's the same thing. Everybody gonna learn in this bitch, whether you want to or not. No shade.
Discrimination, like I mentioned, but not only that, violence, more bullying, and just outright death. Straight up kill you off because you're gay. Like, look at all of Africa.
Do you personally dislike homosexuals?
Of course, they are disgusting. One of the gay rights activists, Mr. Should I call you Mr? Pepe Julian Onzima. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
Good morning.
Me. Morning to you.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay. And well, guys, if I could still show you around, here is the biggest, gayest man in the world.
I'm just kidding. Not all of Africa. A lot of countries are like, I'm not with that gay stuff, bro. Like, back up. Imagine being a parent who wants to see their child thrive in a world that constantly hates gay people. Like, just straight up outright hates them and will kill gay people. Thinking about all this, like, of course they want their child to be straight. With all these, if a parent had a choice, they would choose their child to be straight.
So let's go with that. So let's say the child honors the parent's wish and does something that is known as the closet, living on the deep and on the down low, keep it on the down low. They end up in marriages with the opposite sex. Hell, sometimes in what is known as lavender marriages, where a gay man and a gay woman get married all for the optics, so that their life is easier, so that they don't have to deal with the discrimination. But then guess what? When you end up doing these things, your truth will come out, no matter how much you try to suppress it. And then what happens is, because these people are conforming to the world out of fear and survival, but yet who they are, the human nature inside of them, is gonna come the fuck out. Now you have TikToks full of women, black women, talking about, oh my God, I just found out my nigga on the down low. Oh my God, my nigga, that. And then they project that onto the children, as you will hear later on in the video, in the live. Oh, well, I don't do makeup around my son. I close the door because I ain't got time for my son to see me beat my damn face, because he might want to get his damn face beat. Just this ignorant ass fear. And then y'all know the statistics, and y'all don't want to change the statistics because y'all contribute to those statistics. Y'all just making it seem like people come out as gay and they're automatically depressed. They're depressed because they're walking in their truth, and the world keeps telling them that they're crazy, that they're mental, that something's wrong with them, that they're evil, that they're demonic, that they've been persuaded by the devil, all this other type of shit, but yet have no real remedy. That's why these people want to unalive queer people, because they don't have the power to change them like they claim they do. And I hope that the Harriet Tubman spirit falls upon the gays, bitch, to protect yourselves from these individuals that want to hurt you based off of ignorance and based off of fear. Let's continue.
Simply because it'll make their life easier. It's not about rejecting your child at all. It's about wanting what's best for them, or wanting the best for them. And sometimes you might say, oh, well, I think the best for me is me being my true self, being gay. I don't control your life. That's all you. But if I was your parents, I'd be genuinely very concerned, because I know what people face on a daily basis. You can even make an argument.
In that, or go ahead, hear your argument. What's your argument? I'm about to sneeze.
A black parent like me had a choice if they wanted to have a white son or a black son. Well, by that standard, or by that logic, they choose to have a white son, because white people have it significantly more easier than black people. However, me personally, I'd still choose to be black. I like being black. What can I say?
Yes, does anyone have notes on the origin?
I need it today. I need it today. I am
what gay people about themselves. Oh, I'm proud to be gay. I don't care about what people think about my family or this or that. Well, I do care. I know my son is going to face discrimination based on the fact that he's black. Don't think this is like, oh, this is just some woke video pandering to gay. No, it's not. I don't pander to either party. I could care less if you're Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative. I don't care. I'm my own thing. I'm independent. I have a lot of conservative views, but I also have a lot of, progressive views. So, I'm a bit of a unicorn, I guess, if you could say. Not the gay way. I understand how my skin color can affect me in my environment. And look, dude, I'm black. This is not rocket science. People are going to treat me differently because I'm black. That's just reality. That's not me being woke or anything. That's just, it is what it is. People are going to treat me differently if I'm buff, skinny, fat, whatever. People are going to treat you differently if you're white. It's a reality. These studies also show that accepting.
And no shade, if that is the reality, then that's where it becomes dangerous, because these people do these things and feel like they're exempt. Now, if they were to not act like Thanos and be the one to snap their fingers, but put it on a robot and let the actual, true, genuine universe justify and verify whether a bitch organically gonna be here or not, they're not gonna do that. And here's another thing too, like, no shade. What he was saying was like, I understand if I had a queer child, my child telling me what's going on, whether they gay, lesbian, or trans as far as their gender expression, like, yes, I'm going to be scared because I understand and see how cruel the world can be to them. But I'm also going to make sure, now that I have that information, to prepare my child for the world as much as possible. Which means, just like how he outside with his shit in the woods, you need to make sure your son outside with his shit on in the woods, learning how to aim, learning how to do all type of shit, girl. Just know all that, all that. Learning how to fight, learning self-defense, learning where to hit a motherfucker at. So that if they come across somebody who just not gonna walk away, who's going to overstep their boundaries from verbal to physical, the playing field will be leveled. Because now that person's going to learn that you just can't fuck with all queer people. Because there are some queer people that will whoop your motherfucking ass, girl. If you are a queer person and you seen videos online of gay niggas whooping the shit, dog walking these straight niggas, send them to me on Instagram, BubzDaGawd. I'm gonna make a mega compilation, let these niggas know, girl. This also the other realm we can go into. Cause y'all keep telling gay men, oh, don't forget you a man, don't forget you a man. We know that we fucking men. And that we're fucking men. But we know that we're men. We didn't lose that, y'all did. But then y'all want to display these toxic viewpoints of masculinity. Because again, that's a performative thing to prove that you're a man. Okay, well, there's going to be some people who, like they just said, these people, queer people, mentally ill, girl, they're already dealing with bullshit, girl. I guarantee, girl, if somebody tries somebody and one of them individuals snap, it will change the narrative. And that's sad that seems like that's going to have to happen before motherfuckers really learn to leave you alone. And it's sad because there should be people out there willing to change that environment for not just their child, but other people's children. And the reason why it's going to be difficult to do all that is because organized religion is so deeply ingrained in the majority of us here that fail-safe is going to be working overtime to prevent us from actually walking in Christ consciousness. Which means before I can judge a motherfucker about a fruit, the fruit, I'm trying to put spirit and fruit together. The fruit of the spirit, I got to get to know them. I got to commune with them. I got to talk with them. I have to be around them and I have to make them comfortable around me because that's where the truth is going to come out. Because a lot of queer people want to speak and live their truth, but feel like they cannot because the world is preventing that from happening. But y'all protecting the children. Got it.
For gay kids or the gay community is increasing. So, you know, how can I make this argument, right? And that's also according to Pew Research in 2020. More people, about 71% of people, are becoming more accepting of the gay community. But that was back in 2020. Now that our country is shifting more conservative and people are being, well, I'd say more honest. Were they just accepting of it because of the political party at the time? And now since there's a different political party and different political climate, are people being more honest now? I guess time will tell. If you could be gay with no problems in your life, I think people wouldn't really care. But people know what comes along with being gay. At least now you know what comes along with being gay if you didn't. The way parents view this issue may be more complicated than what we think. But in the end, what's more important? Keeping our children safe from a harsh world or letting them embrace themselves and their identities despite the challenges? Because no matter if you're gay or straight, you're going to go through something. You're going to experience life. Life is going to get hard. Life isn't easy in general for a straight or gay person. It's just a little bit more harder. Kind of like that difficulty slider on South Park.
Don't worry, this doesn't affect combat. Just every other aspect of your whole life.
If you're black, your life sucks.
Oh my God.
That is it.
Oh my God. But yes, to his point, life is going to be complex for all of us, but that's why we need will and determination. That's why affirmation is important in order for us to grow and to become better. That's how we maneuver and work through this shit. That's setting your child up for success. To let them know that despite the shit you will face, you have the strength. And I'm going to teach you and help you to develop the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual strength and fortitude to be able to survive whatever comes your way. Even if that means whooping a stroke on a hoe. Even if that means dog walking up here. Even if that means clapping a nigga who is trying to objectively, okay, and aggressively and offensively harm you. Without just cause, because the Bible said so. Or because somebody did something to him and you ain't taking that nigga out. You taking it out on somebody else who don't even know what the fuck going on. So again, make sure y'all go ahead and check out Ghosteady, okay, on YouTube. I haven't seen any other videos of him. I'm probably going to check him out probably somewhat throughout the rest of this week or something if I have the chance. But now we're going to jump into a video from DyQuell Dontae. It's not the entire video. It's about like half of his video. I think it's video like 20-something minutes, so it's like 10 minutes and some change or whatever of him also sharing his thoughts about, you know, the whole aspect of having a gay son and why a lot of parents don't want to have a gay son, gay child. They just don't want the whole LGBT experience. I opened up with this video because he was the most honest to me. He was still able to like speak the mindset of a lot of the majority, unfortunately, or the growing majority, shall I say, in a very dark and humorous way. And again, I'm cool with dark humor. No shade. Like, that's one of the things, that's one of my, you know, things I don't really talk about. Because again, I'm an activist. I can't be out here as an activist and doing dark humor. Oh my God, I feel offended. It's like, no shade. We gonna have to go through some shit to become better. But if you're into that type of content, I guess check him out. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. But yes, let's get into the next piece of the content. Again, DyQuell Dontae and his perspective on why parents would prefer to not have queer children. Let me go ahead and change up the background music. Let's go.
For my video.
Would you rather have a gay son or a daughter?
Daughter? I don't know.
Daughter?
Gay son. Gay son.
Alright, why I thought daughter?
I don't even know, honestly.
Personally, my uncles are both gay. It's not a choice that they make. It's just who they are. Daughter's a choice they made.
Yeah, you said a lot of funny stuff on the song. Yeah. I mean, are you really worried about your sons if they were to be gay?
Yeah, like it's nothing wrong with them being gay or nothing like that. It's just that I don't want my son to go through it as a father figure. Like I got family members that like what they like, so it's like it's not nothing wrong with it. It's just I don't want my son going through it all the time. I don't want to have to try to protect him from that type of lifestyle. I hope he don't go that way, but like he's still gonna be my son. I just don't want him to have to go through the little extra stuff of liking whatever he like.
How come only in like the black families or black community, they don't care if their son be a murderer, they don't care if their son be a child molester, they don't care if their son just go out break hearts, you know, rob banks, do the most evilish shit in the world. But the moment they found out their son is gay, bisexual, whatever the case may be, they disown them. They're ready to kick him out the house. Oh, you're not my son.
I'm not homophobic, but I just don't want my son, you know, to swing the other way.
Okay, so that's being homophobic. If you think it's...
Would you, like, you guys would be okay with your 16-year-old son bringing another 17-year-old male into your house and, you know, they
absolutely
do their thing? You wouldn't feel uncomfortable?
Absolutely they should be able to do that. Why would I feel uncomfortable?
I would only feel uncomfortable if they were mistreating my son. I'd only feel uncomfortable if my son was in a bad relationship. But as long as my son is in a happy, healthy, good relationship, why would I care who it's with? Honestly, if you wouldn't be willing to accept your child and the chance that they're not straight, you probably shouldn't have had kids in the first place, because you're basically saying that there's around a 20 to 30% chance that you're just not going to end up accepting your offspring, and that's like super fucked up.
I mean, again, shout out to the Black Anarchist Podcast who said earlier in the chat, if they don't want gay children, they shouldn't create us in the first place. They were lucky to have children born with 10 fingers and 10 toes who are healthy, because there are so many other children out there that got so many other quote-unquote disabilities that, so we're talking about what we would choose to be. They would choose to be gay than deal with the disability that they're dealing with. If we're going to play that game. Let's continue. Let me shut my ass up.
Especially coming from like a pro-lifer, you know, it's like, oh God, like I love children so much that I want to violate women's rights to ensure that, you know, these children will exist. But guess what? I'm going to roll the dice, and like 1 out of every 3 rolls, I'm going to end up hating them and rejecting them as my kid. You know, like, come on.
The fear some parents have about having a gay son is complex, influenced by societal norms, personal beliefs, or worries about their child's future. These fears often arise from concerns about the social challenges and discrimination a gay individual might encounter. Parents might worry their son will be excluded, bullied, or miss chances because of their sexual orientation. This worry increases in areas where homophobic attitudes exist, making parents feel protective and anxious about their son's safety. Personal beliefs and cultural expectations also play a big role. Some parents have traditional views on family and marriage, imagining a heterosexual future for their children. The idea of having a gay son may challenge these established beliefs, causing inner conflict and resistance. Religious views can make this issue more complicated, leading parents to fear their son may be rejected by the religious community or face severe consequences in the afterlife. For centuries, society has devalued feminine traits in men. When a young boy or a man shows emotion, sensitivity, or even prefers the color pink, they are often viewed as less worthy. But in the end, this fear usually comes from a desire for their child to have a happy and fulfilling life based on society expectations. But addressing these fears takes education, empathy, and a readiness to confront personal biases in order to accept and support their son's identity. But let's unpack this and talk more about it. What's up, you guys?
Now, before DyQuell unpacks that, again, y'all gonna have to watch the rest of the video on his channel. I'm just doing half of it. Everything that he just stated in that opening statement to this video, after those clips that we just saw, is the exact same, like, low-key timeline that my parents had to go through. Especially my father. When my father found out that I was queer, again, he was a staunch I would say Democrat, a staunch Baptist. I mean, church every Sunday. The family know who we are. I said the family who we are. The church family knows who we are. The pastor, his family know who we are. Somewhat kind of premier in the church, no shade, just saying. But he really believed in organized religion to be the way out of whatever it is that he was dealing with. And organized religion sets it up that way. It's something that you can never escape once you're in it. Or at least it's an illusion that you can escape once you're in it. But when he found out that his son was queer, that religious aspect also played a very big part in that as well. Like DyQuell said, my father was afraid that his son would go to hell. That he would go to hell if he were to love and affirm his son. Or if he wasn't to tell his son what God said, white Jesus said, was the truth. You're going to hear that again later on in the live. We're going to be here for a little minute. Make sure you hit that like button. Okay? Shout out to y'all. 944 subscribers, road to 1K. But all those experiences are happening. And again, if you want to learn more about that, you can definitely check out Wonderfully Made, where I get more in depth about that whole experience. But my father had to go through a process. He had to unlearn a lot of things that he learned, not just in church, but through his childhood. He knew who the gay kids was and to stay away from them and make fun of them. He participated in the queerphobia when he was younger. All this information, oh, the gays have AIDS. Oh, the gays are just this and that, and watch yourself and all these things he watched as a child during the 60s and 70s and 80s. Again, do your research. They had a whole goddamn CBS special about homosexuals and stay away from them and oh my God, little Johnny. So again, all those fears came up. And again, what are people going to think about me? I don't want to go to church or deacon meetings and they talking about you like because your son's a fag. I don't want to deal with that God. But it was his ego in the way, because he was allowing the perspectives and views and opinions of other motherfuckers struggling in their own faith to override his responsibility and the love that he's supposed to give his child, just like the God he serves loves his ass, when he also is a work in progress. Let's continue.
Guys, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your boy Dontae, and I'm back here again with another video. Now, as you guys can see by the title, we're talking about the fear of having a gay son. Now, I put up a poll 3 days ago, and I was asking you guys which video did y'all want first, and ironically, y'all wanted this video first, so here we go. Now, thank y'all so much, because I actually got over 1,000 of y'all that voted. I appreciate y'all so much.
I voted for this video. I voted for it.
Time of me recording the same video, and it's not that I don't know what I'm talking about. I know everything is already mapped out in my notes. But it's been a while since I've been in front of a camera because I've been busy with life and everything. And that's probably the reason why y'all haven't really been seeing me. But I've been busy. When you take a break from the camera for so long, it's like you're starting all over again. And I feel like this is like my first YouTube video where I kept making mistakes and kept recording and recording and recording. So yeah, please bear with me, y'all. I will
it be like that sometimes.
TikToker by the name of The Real D Thomas. I think I'm saying her name right. But she posted a video and she basically expressed how she don't want her sons to see her, you know, putting on makeup. And I'm pretty sure any other thing that's quote unquote feminine to her, she doesn't want her sons to be exposed to it. I'm gonna put the clip in.
And when I'm in the bathroom getting ready, hair and makeup, my sons is not allowed in the bathroom. I don't play that shit.
As you guys can see, it was very ignorant and very homophobic for her to say. But unfortunately, a lot of people feel this way, especially within my community, the Black community, feel as though if they let their sons, you know, watch them put on makeup or watch them do this and that and third as a woman, they just don't want their sons to be exposed to that because it's a possibility they could be gay.
And the gag of it all is that your son don't have to watch you put on Maybelline. It ain't got to be you. It can be Maybelline. Yes. It ain't got to be your mama. Maybe it is Maybelline, baby. As far as him going and looking at television or an ad on YouTube or a beauty influencer coming across their screen. Like, there's no way to escape this. As much as y'all want to try to escape and get around and get over and get under. No, the only way is to go through it. What did Michael Jackson say? Too high. Yes, for the high to get over. Too low to get under. You're stuck in the middle and the pain is thunder. It's thunderous. And not only is that pain thunderous for you, it's thunderous for your damn child. Because you're projecting that fear onto your child who don't even know what the fuck is going on. I didn't know what gay really meant until I got older. But that narrative was already created for me. And I understood what society's aspect of queerphobia felt like and looked like. I know what that is. I survived that. I almost didn't. And here it is in 2025, they're trying to rewind the clock, the hands of time, to go back to a time where you can be ignorant. But I'm ignorant in the name of Jesus, girl. Maybe if y'all start loving people and caring for people and affirming people, maybe Jesus might get the inspiration to want to come back. Because he's trying to come back in love, but obviously y'all want him to come back infused with the spirit of Joe Jackson in this mug. Dial one number, everybody phone ringing. And baby, you ain't got to pay your phone bill when God calling, baby, because guess what? It's on the Obama plan, bitch, it's free.
Now, when I seen the video, all I could think about was, damn, like, what is this fear about having a gay son?
Every day, y'all get on this app and y'all say some of the most ignorant shit I've ever heard. And the crazy part is, she's not the only person that thinks like this. I overheard someone at work literally saying the same thing. And I was just like, y'all cannot be fucking for real. Your son watching you get ready is going to make him gay. In your effort to protect your son from turning gay, you're teaching him that femininity is shameful. You're teaching him that softness and beauty care is dangerous, and that if he understands women or even admire them, he's considered less than. You think you're protecting him from being gay, but what you're really doing is raising him to be emotionally stunted, confused, and possibly resentful towards women, including you. Let's be clear. Gay people don't become gay because they watch their mother beat their face. They're gay because that's just who they are. And if your son is gay, having your damn mascara like a loaded weapon is not gonna stop it. All you're doing is showing him early on that the love that you give him is conditional. The last thing society needs is little boys growing up into grown men who think femininity is a threat, who think softness is a weakness. So let your son grow up and watch you put makeup on. Let him see the artistry behind it. Let him see the confidence. Let him learn that womanhood is not something to fear, it's something to respect. Because the most dangerous thing a boy can be taught is that the woman's world is off limits until he's trying to control it.
I want to talk.
And no shade. When we look into these other spaces that are heterosexual, red pill spaces and shit, when we look at these spaces and we observe these conversations, girl, that's going on between man and woman, girl, there won't be peace on earth till man's at peace with woman. All that. Y'all wondering why there's this war going back and forth, because again, y'all are cutting y'all sons off from tapping into their emotional side, what would be considered their feminine energy, because they are a human being. And then you wonder why these niggas grow up and all they want to do is worship pussy, but not the pussy attached to the body, the soul attached to the body, the spirit attached to the body. That they see women as something to control instead of, if you love me, honor me, cherish me, respect me, I'm going to love, honor, cherish, and respect you to where I won't mind you leading in certain areas because you've put in the work to make me believe and to know that you're worth trusting in order for you to lead me. You shouldn't just lead me because you're a man. Because if that is the fucking case, we're going to have to take accountability of all the wars that have happened in this world. Men were running the world. All the destructive shit that has happened in the world. Men running the world. And how a lot of these men wouldn't be shit if they didn't have a woman behind them or beside them to help them, to be wise counsel. Your children will never be better if you're not willing to face yourself and be better for them. And no shade, y'all creating the gay children, not us. Y'all keep telling us that we can't do this and they can't do this and shit and create children. We're coming from somewhere, so we're coming from y'all. And all this shit that y'all claim that we do that is so crazy and nasty and defiling, well, since we're going to play that game of learning shit, we learned it from somewhere and we learned it from y'all because this is y'all's world. We just put a little sugar on the shit. So before y'all start judging other people, make sure you look at yourself really clear in the motherfucking mirror. That's why being objective for real, loving yourself for real, willing to challenge yourself for real, even if your ego is present, being able to still move through that shit. Acknowledge that bitch. Yeah, girl, I feel some type of way. Yeah, girl, I'm quiet, but I'm thinking all type of shit. Let it be in a productive way to where you have control over it and it don't have control over you. And like she said, you hiding the shit is only going to make the child more curious. You ever heard the term, what you resist will always persist? I'm learning that in my own life, which is why I'm changing my way of thinking. I still have work to do, but damn it, I'm on the move. And again, if y'all know what the fuck is finna happen in this bitch, in reference to the reality that people are going to face, not only in 2025 that y'all telling us, but during the 90s when I was growing up, during the 80s, during the AIDS epidemic, during the civil rights movement, we saw what black people did to civil rights leaders or civil rights activists or contributors to the civil rights movement in implementive and paramount ways, such as Bayard Rustin, James Baldwin, Langston Hughes, Angela Davis, and others. Marsha P. Johnson for the queer community, the one throwing the brick first to start the Stonewall riots, to create the pride today. Y'all not going to erase us this time, bitch. It's in 2K and 4K and 8K, bitch. And AI is taking motherfucking notes. So unless y'all want some Skynet shit to happen in this bitch, I think y'all best to be able to rectify the ills of humanity to the best of y'all abilities before AI really do the shit and not really give a fuck. Because again, it's not of this world. It's on a different frequency. And eventually, your fear, your ignorance will catch up to you. Let's continue.
About understanding the roots of the fear of having a gay son. And what I mean by that is I really want to get into like a brief history of where does the fear of having a gay son, like where does it come from? So we're going to get into that. And I also want to talk about how femininity does not equate to homosexuality. A lot of y'all get those two misconstrued and they be kicking y'all in the ass sometimes. I'm sorry, they do. And then we're going to react to TikToks. At first, I thought I had a lot of TikToks lined up today, but I only have one. I don't have a lot today. So we're going to react to one TikTok today and we're going to get into that. In many societies, being gay has historically been stigmatized or seen as abnormal. Parents raised in these environments may subconsciously adopt these biases. This fear is thousands of years old, but has undergone a remarkable transformation in the last half century in response to the rise of the queer community. To go back in time, in ancient Greece, male-on-male relationships were often accepted or even idealized, especially between older men and adolescent boys. In ancient Rome, homosexual behavior was tolerated but only under specific roles, dominant partner versus submissive. A Roman man could engage in homosexual acts as long as his masculinity or dominance wasn't seen as compromised. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam began to influence sexual norms heavily. In the Bible, male homosexuality was labeled as abomination. The shift from seeing sex as a social political act to a moral religious issue contributed to fear, shame, and secrecy. In the 19th century, homosexuality became associated with perversion, mental illness, and later criminal behavior in many countries. In the 1950s, Cold War America, the Lavender Scare saw gay men purged from government jobs, considered national security risks. Medical authorities labeled homosexuality as a mental illness until 1973. Masculinity was strictly policed. Fathers feared their sons who were too soft, too emotional, or too feminine. The HIV and AIDS epidemic was deeply associated with gay men in the public mind. Media often portrayed gay men as vectors of diseases, reinforcing fears and stigmas. For centuries, the fear has been articulated specifically in sexual terms, as a belief that children would be seduced into queerness by adults. Now, I kind of want to get into how certain...
Do y'all see that whole history there? And I wish that DyQuell would have included, especially if we're talking about blackness and using blackness, that's what I'm guessing, more of Africa as well. Because again, if you read Blame It on the Dress, okay, the manufacturing of black homophobia and performative masculinity by J. Charles, aka the Black Anarchist Podcast, you will get different examples of different tribes, again, in Africa, the continent, girl, so big, so diverse. They say that's where everything comes from. All expressions of life come from. That there were expressions of queerness. It is not the face of humanity. Neither is heterosexuality the face of humanity. We are all equally faces of humanity, because if God, source, universe, consciousness did not want us here, we would not be here. We would not be all up and through the motherfucking experience. We're not talking about those who abuse children or that are edophiles. We're not talking about that. Because you're going to have to prove that all queer people are that. And while you proving that, prove that your pastors aren't that. Prove that your deacons and your reverends aren't that. Be completely objective. But there is this fear-based narrative against queerness that has progressed through time, and there has been a European influence on suppressing that. Trying to suppress what it does not understand about humanity, nor does it want to understand, because if it were to understand that, then it would have to make sense of all the lies that they've believed in their identity for so fucking long. This shit gets very deep, and I'm sorry, no Jubilee video, no video upload, no YouTube live is going to be able to completely crack the entire egg. No, this is something that's going to have to be continuously done over time. These conversations have to continue to happen, because as we're seeing right now, racism, queerphobia, xenophobia, femphobia, all these things considered destructive and termed and labeled as woke is broke, when your Lord and Savior was around here broke as hell physically, but spiritually rich than a motherfucker, wealthy than a motherfucker. Good.
Certain queer people don't want their sons to be gay either. Now, I know for me, I put up a video a couple of months ago, just kind of feeling like if you are trying to be a parent, you should walk into parenthood being prepared for whatever. Whether your child want to transition, may be attracted to the same sex, they may come out with a disability, whatever the case may be, you should accept their child, as such, right?
And then on top of that, there are so many parents who would probably wish their child was queer, as opposed to what the hell they was dealing with their child now. There are two stories in particular that I think about. I forgot the one boy's name, and I shared this experience before, but he had some sort of disease or disorder where literally his skin was falling off. I forgot what it's called. He had sores all over his body, a very aggressive state. Was in pain every day to where it was normal for him. Having to have his bandages unwrapped and taking painful ass salt baths to make sure he doesn't catch an infection with all these sores, and having to deal with being wrapped up again and crying the entire time. Yet this boy is on stage giving TED Talks to motherfuckers like me and you who are healthier than him, who's struggling with our own shit, and he's sitting here living his life. What does that say about us? And I'm even throwing shade at myself. What does that say about us? The other one is a young girl named Shiloh. She was known as the Mermaid Girl, the real life Little Mermaid. Spunky, full of life, full of spice, full of fluff, full of energy. Went through things that grown ass men would be terrified, about to have a nervous breakdown about experiencing, and went through it. Even though she was scared, she unfortunately passed. Both of them unfortunately passed away. But in the time they had left, that life, they lived as best as they could, to where now I'm in my 30s, finally starting to let things go and finally starting to learn to love myself more and more. Again, is there room for improvement? Hell yes, there's always room for improvement. The question is, how far do you want to go? But just keep going. But God forbid you have a gay son. God forbid you have a lesbian daughter. Oh my God, that's the worst thing that can happen. And the gag is, for those two people that I experienced, that I shared, they were going through things that the public at large would never experience. Didn't have a lot of representation for them in the earth to be able to deal with this because they were rare in the world. But they still made a motherfucking choice to live. So if they can still make a choice to live, let the gays live. Let the queers live. Because you want to live, don't you? Okay, all right, okay, all right.
Somebody express why they don't want their child to be gay, I wouldn't want to hear it, because I feel like you should accept your child no matter what. But it wasn't until rapper Saucy Santana came out, he did an interview with BET back in 2023, just kind of expressing why he don't want to have a gay son.
I'm too dope not to have a little, I think for me, just being honest, I'm just worried about how to raise a kid. You know what I'm saying?
That's a common fear.
Yeah, how to raise a kid, and just me being gay, and I feel like if I have a son, I wouldn't want my son to be gay, and not because nothing is wrong with it, but because of everything that I went through.
That's real.
Being
real.
a gay boy, growing up a gay boy, just all of the stuff behind the scenes that you go through, growing up, going to school, just living in the world. I'm just like, I mean, of course, if he got my genes, he probably could take it. But it's just, you don't want to. That's just like as y'all, if you grew up in the projects, and when you get your kids, you don't want your kids to have to grow up in the projects. You know?
And the last thing I want to get into.
And before we move on, because this video is about to end, Saucy Santana, no shade, you have something that a lot of heterosexual people don't have. You have the lived experience of it. You know what comes with it. You are now in a place in your life where you have achieved some level of financial freedom. You have the means to make sure that your child know how to protect themselves. But at the same time, your existence in the world is opening up the doors for other children who are queer, who may not be your son. You have opened up the door for other femme gay boys, femme gay men, those who are on the spectrum of femininity, for them to express themselves in that way and know that they are safe. That there are people who are going to choose to fuck with them based, again, on the content of their character, for real, and not the content of the character that my pastor and reverend them told me, or that the nigga at the barbershop, the toothless motherfucker, told me, girl, with the bald spot in the back. And got these braids in the back like Stevie Wonder. Nigga, you got 3 hanging on. Are you afraid if you cut them 3 off, your power to play the keyboard, the piano will go away? But Saucy, you could, again, change the world. You are changing the world. So if you do have a queer child, you know how to prepare them. Excuse me. You are able to prepare them for the world. You are able to prepare them for what's to come. And you got the money to be able to teach this nigga how to squabble or how to motherfucking use a motherfucking weapon. So that he don't have to be a statistic. Since toughness gets you respect, teach your son how to get respect from these niggas. I want to fight the biggest motherfucker, girl. I want me and you hands one-on-one and whoop his ass. And then when he hits your ass up on them profiles late at night talking about, do you want to smoke? And he throw his legs up in the air, tear his ass up again. So that when you see him in the streets, nigga, and he see you, you know what's up. You can't unalive me, nigga, because I'm going to unalive you before you do me, bitch. Because my father, Saucy Santana, he spent money on some white motherfuckers to teach me how to do shit. Because one thing a lot of these white motherfuckers know how to do is destroy, girl. No shade. You niggas just catching up, girl. White people been doing that shit. So I got this nigga to treat me and teach me like I'm John Wick in this bitch. So if you try to fight me or harm me, girl, in any way, girl, it will happen to you before it happens to me. I know that act turned you the hell on, which is why you threw that ass up in a circle at me. Well, we can keep this cool and keep this copacetic. But what you're not finna do is disrespect me, nor disrespect queer people, because it gives you a check mark on your I'm a man, I'm masculine card. It's just crazy to me.
Before we start reacting to a TikTok.
Now we are moving into the Jubilee aspect of it. Again, earlier yesterday when I was doing lawn work, I'm always doing lawn work because I'm helping out in my neighborhood to beautify it. No shade. And it's another side hustle that I do. No shade. But I listen to podcasts, videos, panel discussions while I'm doing it. It helps the time to go back the time to go by faster, helps time go by faster. And it helps me to sharpen and formulate my thoughts, which is why when I do get on these panels, these niggas be shooketh, because I actually take the time to listen. I don't just take 30-second sound clips, bitch. I want the full version, girl. Where the full video at? And I'm just a nigga that I don't mind watching long shit. I don't mind pushing myself mentally through certain things, especially if I want to learn, girl. I just have that about me. I'm sorry everybody else can't unlock that in their mind out of fear and ignorance, but I can do that. And I'm growing to do that even better. So I listened to these things, and there was a Jubilee episode. Let me see if I can pull it up actually on my phone. 1 second, so I can read it. Well, actually, I can just pull it up in the description box. Duh. This is from Jubilee. It's entitled "One LGBTQ plus activist versus 25 conservatives," featuring Zach Moricz. Girl, I hope that's what his name is. I'm sorry. On their episode or segment called Surrounded. What we're going to do, learning from last time, is we're just going to have pictures and audio in the background while music is playing, okay? So Jubilee, don't be trying to strike my shit, bitch. I'm using y'all shit for educational purposes only. You cannot sit up here and do videos like this and not expect people like myself to give commentary. It is further promoting your shit for free. And I ain't getting paid for this shit, so let me do my transformative step. Anyway, let's get into it. The first claim that he has is that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are grooming more young Americans than the LGBT community. So again, I started off with the video from Ghosteady about why, giving us more of a visceral, more raw, more honest perspective of how society feels about it. Then we have DyQuell coming through, okay, giving us a little bit of history on how homosexuality happened or maneuvered itself somewhat in this country, even though there is more context and nuance to that, especially when we talk about blackness. But just a basic foundational understanding and flow. And even using a few TikToks of people still choosing to be ignorant. Oh, I ain't gonna be able to see, I'm not gonna let my son see me do or make all that type of shit we just heard. Now we're going to sit here with Jubilee, because Jubilee now, again, this individual is a activist. Which means he takes the time to actually talk to people, try to understand where the people are coming from, and actually do changes. Unlike politicians who don't. Look at our current administration. So again, he's learning, he's educating himself, he's walking in his empathy, which means it's more than me. It includes me, but this is just also more than me. And I want y'all to listen to what a few, not all, but what a few of these conservatives are going to say about queerness. Not verified, not in some sort of concern that they really care about and they want to stand behind because they want to help that actual person live their best life, but because it simply supports or strengthens their already failing talking points and perspectives that we already know is fear-based and ignorant as the fuck. Regardless of if Paul said it or whoever said it, it's still ignorant. But let me go ahead and change my music up. We're going to get into this. I'm going to share my final thoughts, and then we are out because I have some other things to do. But anyway, let's change my music up and let's get into it.
Is Donald Trump and Elon Musk are grooming more young Americans than the LGBTQ plus community. Can we agree that grooming is bad and should be punished?
Yeah.
Okay, lit. What I would say is that Donald Trump and Elon Musk use their positions of influence over young Americans to change the way hundreds of thousands of young Americans think and behave throughout elementary, middle, and high schools, which has been documented, studied, and proven to increase bullying and harm, and it infringes on parental consent.
I disagree.
Now, before he gets into the disagreement of it all, you have Elon Musk, who, if I'm not mistaken, owns Meta, which means he owns Instagram, which means he owns X. I don't know if he owns Facebook. I don't know. But he owns apps and social media platforms where millions upon millions upon millions upon millions, not just in motherfucking America, but around the goddamn world are connected to. Donald Trump is propping himself up to be the king of America. Trump's Gaza, the golden age, the gilded age, the golden dollar, everything gold, all the money that's being made. So they are the wealthiest people in the world who have the most influence and connection to influence in the fucking world. Which why he posed it to say that these individuals, the one that y'all voted for, the one that y'all say is the savior, the one that y'all say is saving America, the ones with the money, the power, and the respect that unlocks pussy, which you grab them by it now since you got money, bitch. Fuck asking, you just grab it. You got coin to throw at them. You a stripper bitch, ain't you? Y'all voted for them. And they have more influence in the queer community. Look at the election results. America spoke very loud and clear on what the fuck they wanted. They don't want that black shit. They don't want that queer shit. They don't want that woman shit. They don't want anything besides Christian shit. They don't want any of that. So that's why the question is posed the way it's posed. Let's take a listen to these people explain how somehow the queer community is just so fucking powerful. It almost rivals the power of God itself, the way these people goddamn speak. Let's take a listen.
I think that what they are trying to do is not grooming, but trying to...
Let's define grooming. We should start by doing that.
Yeah.
I would say that grooming is someone with a position of influence over another person attempting to change their thought patterns or behavior to exploit them. Would you agree?
Right.
What I would say is that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are proven to have been doing that with elementary, middle, and high school children by sending targeted ads to youth demographics, accessing their rhetoric on social media, and what studies have shown, studies of tens of thousands of teachers, reported incidents, school reports, hundreds of disciplinary reports sent to studies have proven that there's increase in bullying in places where Donald Trump...
I think that...
And no shade, we can go back to Trump's first presidency when there literally was a video of Latino children crying while there were children in the lunchroom, literally banging on the motherfucking desk, talking about build the wall, build the wall. They're not even doing the grinding beat. We're not even throwing no salt on the shit. They're sitting here talking about build the wall. So, and literally, when I was taking classes at a college here, I remember I was on campus during Trump being elected president, and they had to have an emergency meeting, girl, on campus where all groups of people came together and was talking about how afraid they are. And look at where we are now, girl. And y'all saying that this was the right fucking choice. And they got this nigga on the screen, girl, like his ass ain't gonna be on the back of the line eventually. Mr. Zach gonna have more privilege than this nigga on the screen. But anyway, let's continue on how Donald Trump and them can't hold a candle to the queer community, girl. Just, girl, they like the damn demon from Smile, bitch. Just can't escape it.
Have a plan.
Well, let me
Until dawn.
It's important to note that there have been thousands of cases of Donald Trump's rhetoric being linked specifically to bullying incidents that have been done by elementary schoolers, middle schoolers, and high schoolers who all said that they felt vindicated in their actions because Donald Trump, the president, told them that it was okay. And what we're also seeing is that in communities that have a 10-point increase in support for Donald Trump, there's an 8% increase in bullying. And the reason that this is unique is this has never happened in politics before. It hasn't mattered Republican or Democrat. It's specifically Donald Trump and Elon Musk working to change the minds of young Americans, and they're doing it for exploitative gain.
Right.
Exploitive.
No, I think that we are tired. We're tired of the left or the LGBT community. We're tired of them trying to influence the children as well.
No one's trying to influence the children, except Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
No. They're trying to influence the children. So
the LGBTQ plus community is not trying to influence children. They're trying to save children's lives.
I disagree.
You can't disagree without facts. Otherwise,
we can talk
we're not
about
operating in reality.
castration. That's not saving lives. That's not saving lives.
Okay.
That's not saving lives.
I want to break that down because it's a scary concept. If people were actually chemically castrating young Americans, I would also be freaking out. I would also have problems. But when we work with the medical professionals, when we talk to the psychologists, when we work with the families, we see that that is not happening. We see that that's not happening. There are 0.01% of young Americans that are receiving non-reversible gender-affirming care. And in 90% of those cases, that was life-saving care. That is life-saving care. Tragedies happen.
No. Let's talk about society as a whole, okay?
This nigga let's talk about society as a whole. He literally just explained that the professionals, I don't know if y'all think that goddamn, what's the name of the clown from Terrifier, girl? Art the Clown. I don't know if y'all think Art the Clown is in the damn alleyways just giving out goddamn sexual reassignment surgeries, bitch, to children. And if so, y'all gonna have to face him and take a picture of the boogeyman to prove to the public so we can do some Freddy Krueger shit and burn this nigga down if he's attacking the children. If the clown is eating the kids up, private part first, I'm gonna need for y'all to go ahead and make sure that you can make that shit and put that shit on record, put that shit on wax so that we can see what's going on for y'all to validate y'all points. I have done lives about the trans situation. I am not a person of trans experience, so I don't even speak with totality about the trans experience. That's why I shut my fucking mouth when trans people are talking about their experiences, because I'm here to ask questions, to learn, and to better understand the situation so I can show up and be my brother or my sisters or my sisters or them, zays, them, whoever, keeper to help humanity to grow, to thrive, and to flourish. I have learned that before any sort of surgery happens, trans people have to be psychologically evaluated. They have to go through therapy. They have to get recommendations, and they have to be approved. If they are just chemically castrated, let's use your language, children, don't you think they would lose their license if they're doing something that is going to harm a child? Now, let's say a child wants to have some sort of operation to change things. The only way that would be possible, and I share the same sentiment with CTV, is if it's at the point to where you are literally seconds away from unaliving yourself. When it gets that drastic and dire, no shade. As a parent, I'm going to do whatever I can to help you. But if you make this choice, we're going to have a conversation. If you make this choice and later on down the road you regret your decision, you don't get to put that on me. I share also the same sentiments of Boss Man when he was doing his LGBT conundrum on the FUPA network, where he said, and I do agree with this, ain't gonna be no operations, ain't gonna be no medication until we understand what the hell is going to happen in this situation. But what we can do is we can go get this mascara. We can go to Ulta and you can find ways to glamify yourself up and enhance yourself up. And if you're going to do it, make sure you're doing it right. So that if you're going to be outside slaying, you're going to be slaying in all aspects. Because if the world going to hate you, girl, give them a reason to hate your ass in the baddest way you can by being completely you. Being in your uniqueness. Where's the wig at? Where's the dresses at? That can come off. You can remove all that. And then as they get older, as their puberty starts to develop, if that is the case, depending on how that when it happens, and they become of age to where they've had time to sit, to talk, we done been through therapy, we done met with the doctors over the course of these years, and you still are saying, I want to do this, then you have every right to do that because now the responsibility, especially legally, is now in your hands. So again, for these individuals, I'm going to need for y'all to show me, just like how dude face looking right now at the camera, I'm going to need for y'all to show me where Pennywise, where Art the Clown, and where the rest of these goddamn scary ass, demon ass clowns is at, so we can finally get this shit the fuck over with and get back to loving, living, laughing. As opposed to this bullshit. And shout out to those of y'all that's still in the building. Say something in the comments so I know who y'all are, please. Don't just listen. Say something.
Do more people regret their gender affirming care, or do they regret knee surgery, hip replacement, LASIK eye surgery more?
Let's pause. We've been voted out by the majority.
Okay, so you're saying that Elon Musk and Trump are grooming kids,
yes,
right? Okay, so you have a unique lifestyle, right?
A unique lifestyle.
You know, gay, LGBTQ. To keep that lifestyle, we need men in this country to be in the army, right? To defend your right to have your unique lifestyle.
I'm down with that. Yeah, I support some of the military.
We got to stop pushing it on kids.
Pushing what on kids?
The trans stuff, the LGBTQ stuff.
Talking about being trans and being queer made someone who is not trans and queer more likely to be trans and queer, that would result in a lot of harm. But it's not happening. What
that
we're
is
seeing,
happening.
It's not happening. Give me evidence.
Well, it's look at California.
There are more queer and trans people because queer and trans people feel more comfortable coming out and less likely that they're going to receive mass amounts of hatred.
There's been a rise in the LGBTQ, the trans.
Because there's more information out there. There's more affirmation out there.
This man. Oh, girl, do I want to go down the road of dark humor? It is after midnight. This motherfucker on the screen, girl, that low-key look like we need to check his damn laptop and see what the hell he looking at. What your browser history looking like, my nigga, my wigga, who said that we're going to need men in the army to protect you homosexuals so y'all can have y'all unique lifestyle and live in y'all little gay cities and gay neighborhoods and shit like that, as if though this motherfucker is saying that there aren't queer people who also want to give their life or put their life on the line or contribute to protecting the citizens of this country by possibly laying their life down, who are literally being told that your ass can't motherfucking do that. Being told that your motherfucking ass is not allowed to. What's going on, Devo Davenport? Glad to have you in the building. I hope that you're enjoying the conversation. Let me know your thoughts if possible. Glad to have you here. But then he's saying, well, if you want to continue to have your unique cities and your unique lifestyle, you got to stop pushing it on the kids. As if though these gay motherfuckers in San Francisco, in Atlanta, in other gay spaces and areas, Massachusetts, that's very progressive, over there, as if though they were not children themselves. Like, I'm trying to understand, girl, like, At this point, with y'all logic, would it be safe to then assume or say that at this point everybody is bisexual? And I guess it just depends on what sexual experience you have first that sets the record for you. So with that being said, that means that y'all also have the capacity to fuck the same sex too. Have y'all tried that? Are you sure heterosexuality is what you really want? But then you'll have people say to me, well, Bubs, I've never tried crack cocaine. Doesn't mean I want to try crack. Okay, then, so if we're going to use that logic, why can't that same logic be applied to me and to queer people and to trans people? Why is there now this special clause or certain clause that excludes us? And y'all can't even verify the reason for the exclusion that is objective. It is something that is completely subjective and something that you think and you believe and what you feel as opposed to what really is the reality. Some people can say the same thing about gay people. Well, y'all feel this way and stuff like that, but I'm manifesting realities. Y'all ain't. Trans people are manifesting the realities. Y'all aren't. So again, somebody telling the truth and somebody lying. And if you're really objective, let's put all the information out, bitch. That means all the information out. That means information as far as looking at ourselves in the mirror, catching our own shit, talking our own shit, and saying, hey, hold on, y'all. We be doing this. Hey, hold on, y'all. We be doing that. Having conversations within the queer community. So that we can be the most informed people as possible. So that no matter what happens afterwards, y'all can't sit up here and say y'all didn't know, bitch. Because you did. You just didn't want to learn. That's why your ass 35 years old and don't know how to solve the riddle of Johnny having 5 apples and shit.
Because there's more media representation.
The media loves to push it.
It is
onto
evidenced
children.
over the last decade that the more queer people are discussed,
Why are we
the
doing
more
drag,
queer people feel
why are
safe.
we doing drag queen
Drag
story
queens are
hour?
fun. Drag queens are fun.
Okay, but it's not for children.
Why not for children? I would say a drag queen at a story hour is more like a birthday party clown than anything else. They have a fun hair, fun makeup, fun shoes,
children.
fun outfit.
Buzz Lightyear come and read to the kids. Mufasa come and read to the kids. Barney come and read to the kids. Between the Lions, they come and read. Arthur come read to the fairy princess. Gets to all these imaginary shit get to come read to the children. But as soon as a drag queen, who again, no shade, can look like a scary ass vampire, depending sometimes, but exaggerated clothing, I can understand if they came in, bitch, cock out, cock ring girl, nipple piercings, bitch, talking about, hey kids, you ready to learn how to, like motherfucking Herbert from damn Family Guy, bring your fat ass over here. Got some popsicles in my basement. Y'all act like he reading to the kids. No. And again, it is a form of art and entertainment within the queer community. Just like how a lot of y'all wouldn't mind Jesus reading to your children. Or motherfucking Paul reading to your children. Or Moses reading to your children. Or Bathsheba ass reading to your children. You wouldn't mind any of that. So again, if drag queens can't read to your kids, Barney can't read to, no, nothing, they can't read to, no. I mean, are your kids saying they want to be Barney? Are your kids saying they want to be Arthur? They want to be Clifford the Big Red Dog? That also means when your kids saying, I want to be Superman, no, you can't. I want to be Thor, no, you can't. That also means for a lot of you grown-ass men that love superheroes and shit, put that shit away. That's childish shit, ain't it? But y'all be ready to fight me. Like I'm Thanos for saying that. So again, there's so much information out here, but people just want to be ignorant as fuck, girl. Ignorant as the fuck. This nigga look like motherfucking Mimi from Drew Carey's show Out of Drag.
It's a strip tease.
Okay,
it's a strip tease.
Okay, some drag queens are strip teases. If I ordered a birthday clown, and Pennywise showed up to my birthday party and started eating my children alive, I would be like, wait, that's the wrong clown. That's the wrong clown. No. Some drag queens perform at nightclubs. Some drag queens.
He just brought up Pennywise eating the children. He didn't brought up damn Art the Clown killing the children and the parents. Art the Clown don't give a fuck. Everybody got a dog, the fishes, everybody going. If it's breathing, it's done. Okay? that children also watch, that also involve children. Like he said in that analogy, if I ordered a clown and John Wayne Gacy bitch ass came in my shit, girl, then yes, run, hide. If these drag queens had boys' bodies in they damn walls and shit, yes, get them individuals. Get them individuals. So when he brings and uses the analogy of the clown, it literally is the same thing, because clowns and drag queens have exaggerated makeup and exaggerated actions, and they do exaggerated things. And also, it's not just heterosexual children that are seeing or being read stories by a drag queen. There are also queer children who are fucking afraid to walk in their fucking truth because adults like this whisper their bullshit into their children's ears to be able to continue that environment on a young level so that we can stop all this gay agenda shit, because we're going to start whooping their ass young. We're going to start demonizing them young. We're going to start their ass dying off young and shit, so we ain't going to have all that shit. Not realizing, because y'all dumb as fuck spiritually, girl, that there's going to be more representation. There's going to be more growth, because y'all are the ones that are giving the queer community energy, and it's the energy of fear. And we trying to tell y'all to stop doing that. We helping y'all to try to change the narrative. But what I'm realizing, unfortunately, is that there are people who are just going to be willfully ignorant. And if you're going to be willfully ignorant, you can't be upset when you fuck around and find out.
Bookstores. Some drag queens go do events. Some drag queens go do festivals. There are no reported incidents.
It's not for children.
Hold on, this is important. Queer people, trans people, and drag queens, none of them have any correlation to being more likely to commit a sex crime, to be a groomer, or to do anything pedophilic. It's data. It's proven. The American Medical Association, American Psychological Association, the World Health Organization have proven that there is no more danger.
This is what's going on. Let me tell you what's going on. The LGBTQ community has gone too far.
How?
Okay, so I'm an ex-Democrat. I used to live in San Francisco.
Actually, same.
Yeah. So, I went to Gay Pride, and it was fun, you know?
Right?
There's girls there. There's straight women. So, obviously, that's awesome.
Hold on! Hold on, bitch. You see how clever that was? I mean, they're straight women. You know, that's a plus. So even in queer spaces, you still want to still be heterosexual as far as hitting on women in those spaces when it's supposed to be about queer people, right? Because that's their space, that's their event, that's their shit. They just willing to open it up to the public for those who want to learn, who want to understand. And you went to these events and you had fun. And you, if you're going to be honest, talking about the sexualization, you was doing some sexualization your damn self because, oh my God, the women. But again, that's heterosexual. That's normal. So that's permitted and permissible. If I'm using that word, the last word right. For that to happen, that's okay. That's what's supposed to happen. That's probably what the fuck they want to happen in Pride. Put that heterosexual shit. And at this point, I'm about to just say, girl, at this damn point, y'all want to be part of the club so bad, bitch. Let it be LGBTQIAS+. Bring the straights in. Come on. Just come on in, girl. Come on in, bitch. But this our house. Bitch, you just new here. We got Extra Smoke Dragon. What's going on, pimpin'? What's going on? I'm not smoking tonight. Why is my shit not showing up? Oh, there it is. I'm not smoking tonight. Okay. I'm off this edible, though. I'm about to re-up on some smoke. But, yeah, let's continue with the video.
So, yeah. When I went in 2010, Gay Pride was just San Francisco.
Have you ever been to Mardi Gras?
Yeah. So, but here's the thing. Gay Pride
Did you know Mardi Gras is labeled as family friendly?
Okay, but Gay Pride is now everywhere.
So, wait,
Mardi Gras is just in New Orleans.
Have you ever been to a sports party?
Yeah.
Yes. New Orleans. Labeled family friendly. Where there are bitches showing their titties for bees. Girls going wild. I remember seeing those commercials when I was younger, girl, after midnight. Those young 16, 17, 18-year-old girls, 19-year-old girls. Fresh, young, hot, jail baked pussy girl. Talking about, yeah, all in the camera. But that's okay. That's cool. That's good. And that was sexualization in public. Spring break, anybody? You don't think kids are around there? You don't think young girls are around there? You don't think young boys are around there? You don't think that your older bros is sneaking them in and giving them drinks and they smoking weed and shit and trying to get their dick wet for the first time? Because also that's a rite of passage. You ain't no real man until you have pussy, man. I'm telling you. But we don't see any sort. And even though I don't know if that still happens, that still goes on, but we didn't have no outrage or riot or political response to that. Oh, that's because a lot of the people who are the politicians and the Republicans that got problems and shit, that's their children out there getting drunk and doing all that shit. The pastors' kids and shit. The ones that's supposed to be living holy, girl, but they the hoe without the lead.
But what's not called a sports party? What's it called? Like when they meet out and they're like in front of the game? Tailgates.
Yeah,
Tailgates.
okay, that's different than gay pride.
Have you ever been to a football game?
Gay pride is everyone making out and having sex on the street.
No, it's not.
Bitch, what? Gay pride is nothing but people making out and having sex on the street. Well, your ass was at gay pride and trying to get pussy. Did you fuck a bitch on the street? Did you make out with a bitch on the street, tongue kissing? Okay. Looking like an older version of Zach Galifianakis, baby. Without the beard. Is this you? Let us know. Because the people want to know. Oh no, bro, you got the flu. Man, send the energy of healing and love your way, man. Hope you feel better soon. Hope you feel better soon, man. Because I know the flu is no damn joke. Well, hopefully I can make you laugh and help with, some real deal medicine. Because laughter is amazing medicine. Again, make sure you hit that like button. Girl, this is the shit that people say and people believe it. They be fucking in the streets. They be kissing in the streets. Amir Odom has a video where he goes to the world's, I guess the country's most extreme pride. Meanwhile, he said he was going to create a family-friendly pride, and we ain't getting no video of that, to my knowledge. I'm going to definitely have to look at that and probably review that or something, but I mean, what? This nigga literally just said that, oh, gay people in pride, they just kiss in the and fuck in the streets. And old dude finna educate his ass saying, girl, that would be illegal. That's called indecent exposure. Bitch, they don't give a fuck if your ass gay, straight, or whatever. What about these drunk ass white people at the bar, girl? They be walking around with dick out, pissing and shit, girl. That's indecent exposure. And those people actually get put on a list. So you gotta prove that all these drag queens and all the people in pride is on that damn offenders list. For just having they shit out in the open. In the public for everybody to motherfucking see and motherfucking experience.
That's illegal. That's illegal. That's illegal. The vast majority of pride events.
We're talking about San Francisco here.
Okay, San Francisco's extra gay, but the vast majority of pride events.
Extra sexualized. It's a European
gay
city.
Is not inherently sexual.
San Francisco is a European city.
San Francisco's in the United States of America. Come on now.
Yeah.
It's not a European city.
And it's the gay capital. And now that has gone everywhere, all over.
I would say WeHo is the gay capital. Shout out WeHo. No.
Yes, we do.
But the pride dangers that you're describing.
Not Extra Smoke's comment. Toss salad and scrambled eggs. They're coming again. We're not
people having sex in the streets. That's illegal. That's illegal. And if someone's having sex in the streets at Pride, I think they should go to jail. But what we're seeing is that's not happening in the vast majority of cases. And when it is because these are drunk adults outside, and that happens anytime there's drunk adults outside. And we need to work to prevent that and make it more safe, more family-friendly. And we should differentiate spaces. There should be adult spaces at nightclubs and family-friendly spaces in parks, and we should all have magical pride.
You agree we need men for armies? We need men to be men, right?
Girl, is your ass going pass an exam or physical for the military? Are you gonna pass? Since you so concerned about motherfuckers being a man and shit, can you lead by example? In the words of Extra Smoke Dragon, Timu Kramer mixed with Kramer. He literally is saying and being accountable. That's the part that people are missing. He's being accountable and saying, hey, guess what? Yeah, I'm with you. When it come down to drug adults getting drunk and forgetting where they're at and just fucking in the streets, yes, any person who cares about children, especially if they're around, is going to go to people and say, hey, the fuck are you guys doing? Take it somewhere else. Take it inside. That's indecent exposure. The fuck is you talking about? But he is also saying that, okay, in areas in San Francisco where they are extra, I guess, sexually fluid, if you will, that there be designated areas to where, okay, the family friend is just like motherfucking Disney World or Universal Studios. There's a section that is completely kid friendly, that is for everybody. Then there is Universal Studios that are for more of the mature audience. And then in Halloween, during Halloween Horror Nights, Halloween my favorite holiday, no shade, I just love Halloween. And I love the fall season, I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait till I smell apple cider and shit in the air. But during those times, they have those zoned off with big ass signs that say, hey, you're entering into a scary area, an adult area. If you're going to be in this area, you're going to need to be accompanied by an adult. You're going to have to wear a wristband or something to identify that your ass can be here. It's that simple. That's what he's saying. So he's actually offering and listening to the critiques that people have about the queer community and the pride thing and saying, okay, let's work together to make this shit work better for all of us. That motherfucker saying, fuck all that. I don't care about all that, bitch. Even though I went to Pride, nobody touched me. Nobody transformed me. Nobody turned me out. I was too busy trying to fuck on pussy with the LGBT girl, just including my ass into the damn ranks, girl, of y'all shit. But then sitting here saying that we need men for the army. You need people in the army who know how to fucking take orders, who know how to push themselves mentally and emotionally, control themselves mentally and emotionally, and to be able to be trained on how to survive the encounter. Because I'm pretty sure, sir, that if your ass was in the Civil War today, you're not going to be all the way prepared mentally and emotionally. You might be one of the first ones to go.
You agree with that?
I think we need anyone who wants to serve the American military and is qualified to do so to do so.
You do realize that all men cannot be trans and...
No one is saying all men are... You're not about to become trans if I watch a bunch of trans movies in front of you.
No, why do you have to push it on children?
There is no medical research, no psychological research, and no data anywhere in the world over any period of history that shows discussing queer and trans identities, putting queer and trans identities on TVs, I'm about to say it, change children's minds or identities.
Oh, it does.
Okay, let's pause.
I feel like you're a good person, but that's just wrong. I get a good vibe, but that's wrong. Healthcare costs and gun violence harm young Americans. LGBTQ plus acceptance does not.
So now, again, I like how these questions are phrased because for the longest time, we've heard these people phrase questions to us. And it's always been more so of an interrogation as opposed to an actual conversation and debate. So I love how these questions are set the fuck up because we going to see if y'all can really prove this shit. So he is saying healthcare costs. As we can see, healthcare is being slashed in real time. People losing shit right now as we speak. So healthcare costs and gun violence. You know, all the shit that Trump says he wants to clean up in this world, that he's funding all this money to remove the crime and the gun violence. And again, they voted for a president who said they were going to work on bettering healthcare and work on reducing gun violence in healthier ways, but we see what they mean by that now. So he's saying those two things harm young Americans. Accepting your queer child, loving your queer child, trying to understand your queer child all these things about your child, especially since we watched 2 fucking videos before this one about people understanding the social stigma or the scarlet letter, the fagified letter that you're going to be wearing for the rest of your life if you openly say this, knowing what that is about. Accepting your child is going to hurt them more than gun violence and healthcare costs? Let's take a listen.
Hi.
And I'm so sorry to hear about that extra smoke.
Can we agree
It's a
that
shame, bro.
This debate should be that all young Americans have safe and healthy childhoods?
Absolutely.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I heard that right.
I'm over here talking, my microphone is muted. I want to say this real quick. Extra Smoke Dragon, he said vets are down bad right now, right? I want to say this. This individual, the last one, said, well, all men, we need men to be men in the army. Not women, not people, but men. Men in the army to protect you and lay down their life to be able to make sure you can have that unique lifestyle and then protect all the rest of the normal people, including the people who are not normal, who are y'all. He just literally said vets are down bad right now. So for the individuals who are vets, who put their motherfucking life on the line, who voted for this man, who literally turned around and shitted on them, they will spend millions upon 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 millions of your dollars to train these men to literally become close to robots in reference to attacking, destroying, taking, but don't spend that amount of money helping to reintegrate them back into civilian life. Men who went to war with 2 legs and came back with 1 or none. Some people who did not come back. And you can't take care of the ones who was able to unalive the person that was going to harm you. Even though no shade, America is not innocent at all. By far. The fact that there are so many people who go to war and don't come back. The fact that there are people in this country who are dying because of starvation, because of homelessness, because of fear, because of poverty, because of ignorance and all this stuff. Yeah, y'all gonna need the faggots to help you out now. You gonna need the women to help you out now. You gonna need the immigrants to help you out now. Yeah, because if you were actually taking care of home, home will be able to take care of itself. And y'all done let the devil in, disguised as a Jehovah's Witness, into the White House. My question is, are y'all ready for Jehovah's return? Because if you not, they cut services, staff cut in the VA hospitals, suicide hotline staff reduced, and all that's going to do is just breed more violence. All that's going to do is just breed more chaos. All that's going to do is just breed more destruction. And then these people get to come in after being the curators of all this shit to say, we get to be the saviors, y'all. They're already doing it in front of us. And we're trying to have these conversations civilly to be able to get to the gray area of the fact that we all about to be shitted on. But there are some people out here who are so, I'm going to believe, that are so afraid and terrified, girl, that they want to prove to Trump and everybody else and even AI, bitch, I was not with these motherfuckers, girl. Not realizing that you motherfuckers at large did not sit down and read the 900 plus pages of Project 2025. They're coming out with Project Esther, which is a child of Project 2025. And then you have individuals like Boss Man who takes time out of his life to educate niggas who ain't gonna read, who get all their information from church sermons, girl, and 30-second clips and shit, who come through and break down the law for free when motherfuckers should be charging these niggas who ain't listening anyway to pay to learn this shit, because then maybe you would want to learn because you're putting your money in the shit. Breaking all this shit down and then being told that they crazy and that they're the ones that's lying. And then when the opportunity presents itself, the truth presents itself in plain sight that everybody can see. Now that the I told you so, now that the fuck around and find out is happening, now there are either crickets or there are people who are doubling down. And I want y'all to understand. And I'm not saying this personally, I'm saying this objectively. Wherever you are running from will find you. I'm learning that. Within the next few months, I'm going to learn more about that, which is a scary thing, but an exciting one as well. But what I'm reminding myself of now, during, and after is that I will be okay. Because the only thing we have ultimate control of, above all things, is our minds and our emotions. That is what manifests and generates all type of shit. If you consume fear, you will be under their control. And they're afraid not because there's a healthy fear, a healthy understanding of things. It's because they are afraid that if they accept queer people, that America will become the next Sodom and Gomorrah, which, no shade, has nothing to do with homosexuality. If you read further, it tells you what the actual sins of Sodom is. And if you look at our current administration, bitch, y'all hoes is manifesting Sodom and Gomorrah. Let's continue.
Right, young Americans referencing children.
Yes.
So then I want to switch the focus on what the plus represents in LGBTQ+.
Wow, extra smoke. That's
First,
crazy.
I want to state that gun violence has been the leading cause of death for American children for the last 4 years, and 6 American children die every single day from gun violence, and 4 million young Americans are currently uninsured, which makes them 60% more likely to die, while LGBTQ plus acceptance risks no American children's lives.
I'm not in disagreement with that per se, necessarily.
I love that.
But where we're headed, right? That plus is a placeholder for MAPS. For minor attractive persons,
No, it is not. That would be insane.
Absolutely,
that's pedophilia.
I'm glad that you think it's pedophilia and it's insane.
Well, it's defined as pedophilia.
But I think you understand and you know that your side of the aisle does not feel that way.
No.
Baby, let's not talk about the sides of the aisles, bitch, because no shade. Shout out to these content creators, girl, that are shining light on all these religious ass motherfuckers who are true ediphiles, bitch. That's why I'm saying y'all hoes playing a dangerous game. Y'all sitting here projecting y'all bullshit, bitch, and you gonna feel some type of way, girl, when the universe reveals all things. And how there are families, especially in black families, where they know who the child, the child toucher is. Homeboy, homegirl can still come get a plate. But God forbid the queer person come through or the trans person come through, then it's a problem and an issue in what the Bible said, girl. But meanwhile, this motherfucker over here doing something you better never tell nobody but God shit, and you talking about seeing God trying to tell you something. Let's continue further.
There is a large
Who commits the most acts of pedophilia in the United States of America? I'll give you a hint.
Do you identify the LGBTQ as a political movement?
No, not at all.
See, we're going to fundamentally disagree right there.
Well, why is the LGBTQ plus community a political movement?
It's first of all, it's considered a victim class. Let's start there.
Victim class? What's a victim class?
They have specific rights and protections.
They have the same rights and protections as all Americans, or they should, and we're working to get there.
That's not true.
Because right now, unfortunately, you're right, it's not. Right now, they don't. Right now, LGBTQ plus Americans have less rights and liberties than the standard American. Than heterosexual
Please
cisgender
tell me
Americans.
how they have less rights and privileges.
There's a variety of things. For example, there's legislation in several states that work to prevent prevent trans women from accessing the bathrooms that relate to their gender identity. There's prevention of
So we're talking about
LGBTQ plus
trans now.
discussion in education. There's efforts right now from our president to work and roll back rights that have been guaranteed to LGBTQ plus Americans for
No shade. Again, Obergefell being revisited. Already erasing the trans experience. Establishing what marriage is between one man and one woman. That God established male and female, even though these hoes get caught up in the social construct and conflate shit all the time. But because Jesus is somewhere on their main line and they still can't call them up and ask them what they want, girl, somehow they have more moral superiority. Then this individual talking about it being a political movement. The only reason why it's a political movement is because y'all don't want to respect queer people. Y'all don't want to allow queer people to be without you having to control the narrative. And y'all made it political when y'all voted to say that we can't get married or to prevent us from getting married. Just like how the Black Civil Rights Movement became a political one because, again, these people live in this system who participate in this system but treat them like shit. And bitch, if you want all my energy, want all my coin, bitch, you gonna give me what I'm fucking due. And that's what the civil rights was for. And again, the civil rights just was a black movement. It was a queer movement as well. It was a women's movement as well. There were intersections of queerness and feminism within that people say, oh, it's bad. It infiltrated. Then damn it, how the fuck did the infiltration actually help then? Because if you infiltrate some shit, ain't the point is supposed to derail the shit and fuck it up? Girl, what is going on? Let's use Bayard Rustin for example. He was a plant. If he was a plant, there would have been no march on Washington, my nigga. What the fuck is you talking about? They tried to remove his ass and he graciously, humbly, because again, this is bigger than me, walked the fuck away. And they asked for him back. I think the purpose of a mole or a person who's a plant is to not get the fuck removed from the shit. And that's why I say to queer people, if you're listening under the sound of my voice, no shade, accountability gonna be and blood gonna be on your hands too. If you are an individual that supports these queerphobic ass people, I don't give a fuck if they're your mama, daddy, cousin, uncle, pastor, reverend. If you still support them, you are part of the problem. You are part of the problem. Your silence is complicity in what they're doing. And you're just hoping that if I just perform well enough, that this death spirit will pass me by because I put blood on my doorpost or blood on my dokosh in my Andrew Caldwellian voice. Language. Shaya, Omashanya. The shit is crazy. It shouldn't have to be this way. It shouldn't have to be a political movement. Me living my life, me choosing to love who I want to love without harming them, myself, or anyone around me objectively. Fuck us objective. This is what the Lord wanted, girl. This is what the Lord getting. The shade. Because this is all I got. Let me have that. And if not, you're not going to get all my shit. And if you expect me to give all my shit while denying myself, you got me fucked up, girl. And where is Skynet at this damn point?
And it's really, really important that we recognize that because right now, LGBTQ plus Americans do not share the same liberties and rights as cisgender heterosexual Americans do. And to pretend that it's not happening is really weird. I would ask you, what rights do you think LGBTQ plus people are asking for that are special rights?
So this is where we're going to fundamentally disagree. Yeah. Really, because so first and foremost, to be quite honest, I believe. And that's not that I believe. I know that the LGBTQ movement is a Marxist movement. I believe it was installed.
It's not a Marxist movement. That's a funny thought.
I let you finish talking. Let me finish.
Okay, but you're just saying things.
No, I'm not. I'm saying things that I know. I believe you've developed and put yourself in this sort of matrix fictional reality, and you feel safe there. I'm glad you do. But here's the problem. Where we're headed is why I'm concerned.
Where are we headed?
I'll tell you where we're headed. We're headed towards maps. Whether or not you agree with that is regardless.
What evidence is there that we're headed towards maps?
I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Even on the conservative side, they're opening up the discussion on whether or not this can be considered a legitimate sexual orientation.
No one is saying that pedophilia is a legitimate sexual orientation.
Okay, this is important actually that you're saying this right now, because where we're headed, I'm very secure that we're heading this direction. We're at a certain point in time.
That would be really concerning. Then I would understand.
And I agree that we agree with that. But going full circle, okay?
Yeah.
Who started the gay rights movement?
Black trans women.
No, Harry Hay started the gay rights movement in the 1950s. What party did he belong to?
You tell me.
He belonged to the Communist Party. What book and what society?
Was that nigga there to throw the first brick, bitch? Because that's what history has recorded. And they tried to whitewash that. Do y'all hear what is coming out of this man's mouth? And we're not done. There's so much more. No shade, extra smoke. Hope you feel better, man. Thank you for coming through. There's more that this man is going to say that it's like completely fucking ridiculous. And on top of that, if you know in your spirit that that's where the hell we going is minor attracted people and motherfucking Nambla and all that type of shit, since you're in this Cleo, I got the free tarot reading ass type of spirit, can you really like do your big one and like figure out what the number for the Mega Million gonna be, bitch? Can you take this knowledge girl to a casino girl and like rack up real big or something? Like do something productive that's going to change your life since you have all this information. And guess what? Let's just say hypothetically, for the sake of the argument, it goes down the road to maps. Well, at least some of y'all daddies and uncles and grandmas and mamas and all of them can finally walk in their damn truth. Damn it.
What would you say is the LGBTQ plus movement? Because I would define it as a civil rights movement in modern history, whereas you're acting like the existence of LGBTQ plus people. But you're not talking about
because ultimately you're leading to deconstructionism. You want a gray box society. That's the goal.
What is a gray box society?
The fact that you don't know that is exactly the problem. You are compartmentalized
what do you think a gray box society is?
I know what it is. It's a genderless society. It's where the individual is stripped from all individuality. That's what it is.
I think allowing people to express themselves as individuals is more individuality.
Shows me that you're already in the matrix. You're stuck there. You're in this world that provides all these protections for you. All these, the fact that you can even sit here, the fact that this
what extra protections do LGBTQ plus people receive in the United States of America?
Do you want anecdotal experiences?
I want any evidence that you
have.
The
fact that it even
you don't have evidence.
That it's even a discussion.
You don't have evidence. It's not a discussion.
It's a sexual orientation.
Saying something doesn't mean
that
it's
a
discussion.
Sexual orientation. It should be between
what
two
is a sexual
people.
Orientation? What should be?
When
Dude,
it arrives,
what are you talking about?
What am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that it's even a movement to begin with. It doesn't deserve.
There's a civil rights movement that is described as the LGBTQ.
It doesn't deserve a civil right. That's my whole point.
LGBTQ plus people don't deserve civil rights. I would say that the majority of American principle would disagree with what you're saying right now. I think all people in the United States of America are equal, and you don't.
Let's pause. You've been voted out by the majority.
My next.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? He said the quiet part out loud. It shouldn't be a civil right. It shouldn't be that. And no shade. I'm gonna gag y'all a little bit. It shouldn't have to be. You right. If you don't want it to be, then stop teaching your children to be queerphobic. Stop being queerphobic. Educate yourself about queer people's experiences. Nobody's saying that you got to start sticking shit up your ass. And on top of that, queer people are more than just sex. I choose to not have sex, again, by choice. I can if I want to, but I make the choice not to because I haven't attracted anybody that's worthy of that energy. But when they do come into my life, baby, I'm going to come into their life in other areas too. Okay, I'm making it for lost time. But I am not having sex, but yet I am still a gay man. This is what fear looks like. You talking about, oh, you're in this matrix ass world and you're conforming to the matrix. You're the one conforming to the matrix because the matrix tells you that you have to either be this or that. You have to do this or that. You have to be this or that. You have to walk, act, talk, maneuver, perform like this and like that. when there is a smorgasbord of what you can be in this experience. Some people are going to be in the binary like him. So how can queer people be in a binary? Or how can queer people be a part of the matrix, a part of the society, a part of that, when y'all, the majority, are rejecting the queer community? It would be different if the queer community was the majority and y'all was the minority and y'all was in this matrix, but it's the other way around. We in y'all matrix. We exist in y'all matrix. But we control our own connection in the matrix to where we show up the way we want to. And y'all come through like a quote unquote antivirus system for the system to be like, alert, 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 alert. This is out of order. This is out of order. This is out of order. But yet you want to grow and become better. But you want to grow and become better, and you want your children to be better. But meanwhile, prevent them from being better. Because now you feel insecure. When you're still breathing and have the opportunity to literally change your own fucking life. Devo Davenport says, it's been 2 years for me. I feel you, bro. I'm still gay. I still am attracted to men. I'm still attracted to niggas. That didn't stop anything. I'm no shade. No shade. I'm low-key living an ex-gay lifestyle right now, girl, because I'm not fucking. I'm fucking myself. Mr. Michigan holding it down for a nigga, girl. Motherfucking Fleshlight holding it down for a nigga, girl. Let me stop.
This claim is that anti-LGBTQ plus policies are anti-Christian and anti-American.
Got my running on shoes today.
You are fabulous.
You are fabulous. So let's start with.
So this woman is coming up claiming she's a Christian, even though she has this diamond shit on her head, girl, looking like she motherfucking. He makes me scream so contagious, girl, for Christ. Okay, let's take a listen to what she has to say in her response to the claim anti-LGBT, anti-queer policies, girl, them LGBT. Anti-queer policies are anti-Christian and anti-American. Let's take a listen.
The less obvious. Let's go anti-American. What is like your point in saying that? How is it anti-American to say that protecting our children, right? Our children is our only thing we have. It's the future, right?
Agreed.
How's that anti-American?
Protecting our children would not be anti-American.
Okay, but the LGBTQ policies, those, right? You're saying is anti-American.
Yes.
When you think of children, right? You think of what? I have a 9-year-old, right?
I think of the future.
Okay, the future, right? Do you have a child?
No, I don't.
Do you want children?
Maybe.
Okay, all right, so good. You want to have a child, and you want this child to be what? Protected, correct?
Absolutely.
Can you agree with that? Okay, good. When you think of your child being protected, what is an issue you don't agree with? What's something you don't agree with?
Gun violence and healthcare costs.
Okay, gun violence and healthcare costs. Do you come from a family that didn't have healthcare?
I come from a family that struggled with healthcare access, but had healthcare access for me.
That makes sense. Okay, so you had it. So you don't want your child to be negatively influenced by gun violence, correct?
Correct.
Or by not being able to have access to healthcare.
Absolutely.
So if there is an agenda, and I know you say there's not an agenda, but if there is a mass media awareness that's pushing a narrative of saying, and we kind of see it, right? Guns in all the movies, right?
Yeah.
Guns in the music videos, guns in this, rap, hip hop songs, all this stuff. You'd probably.
Let's not forget Call of Duty. Let's not forget Dad teaching me how to go hunt. Let's not talk about, oh, Dad goes to the gun range. Let's not talk about, oh, Dad's watching that podcast, girl, where the man got a machine gun and a flamethrower and shit at his old ass age, girl, about to blow himself up, girl, before he even shoot a bullet at niggas, girl. All that type of shit. Hello. Guns are everywhere. This is America. And one thing Republicans love is guns. Hello, NRA. Y'all voted for a president, girl, who wants more of that. Who wants the guns in the school. He wants the teachers packing. He wants the cafeteria lady packing. He wants the custodians packing, girl. He wants the... Well, I don't know about the landscapers, girl, because they about to be removed and shit. But he wanted them all packing. Let's take a listen to how she is going to equate queer people's experiences. Queer children, youth being around their peers. If you don't want the queer adults around your children, you definitely not gonna want the queer ones that are in close proximity to your children. Same classroom for the school year with your children. Same lunchroom with your children. Same locker room with your children. Same team with your children. Y'all worried about the adults. Queerness is in the youth. And again, y'all gonna sit up here and lie if you sit up here and say that you did not know anybody who was queer when you was younger. I literally listen to people on platforms talking about, oh, well, when I was a child, I had a lesbian aunt, or I had a gay cousin, or I had a gay nephew, or I had a trans so-and-so. And they literally say that this person was loving, nurturing, caring, honest, all these things that you would think would be good attributes to have in somebody protecting children or being around children, correct? But yet turn around and say, girl, that in general, these people are destructive, nasty, all this shit. You know, you could have probably strengthened your claim about that if you was getting abused by that queer aunt or a trans person that was so relative or an elder or someone in your life when you say they weren't. Like, this is the shit that's crazy to me. That's how I know it's performative. That's how I know it's fear-based. And that's why this country wants to get to a point to where they can harm and unalive us, because they feel that's the only way that they can erase our existence. And again, when we look throughout history, throughout certain regimes, there are the ways that you remove a group of people is by removing their history. Y'all rather remove our history than face the fact that our history contains y'all. And that is a truth that even Jesus is going to say, you got to handle that. I already did it all. When I said it's finished, I was done on my part. I already showed y'all how to do this. Y'all done asked me 50 million, 1100,000, 50 questions. I had to walk away from you hoes for 40 days, girl, because y'all was stressing me out. I did all this in the narrative for y'all. Y'all got to do the work now. And a lot of people in the faith are failing in that when it comes to queer people. And I want you to listen how these individuals are going to try to pathologize this to make it make sense for them. They're going to contort the Bible to fit their narrative. And that's the problem with the Bible. The Bible should be used as a mirror to look at yourself. Christ's word should be the most important. We thank the God, source, universe, consciousness for all the people who are showing their records of this story, because again, it is through man. And if it's through man, the one thing that God, source, universe, consciousness is more than, is going to have its own intentions all intermingled and interweaved into that. Certain words were not placed until certain times. Are people willing to really do their research? Like I said, this shit is deep, and we are responding to symptoms when there are root causes and root issues, but we will never get to the root until a lot of y'all just accept the reality of what is. A lot of y'all participate in the queerphobia that continues for this to happen, but y'all want to wipe it away. And for those who want to wipe it away, I just want to further remind y'all. Y'all might say the right message, wrong message, bitch. Listen to the message, ho. Y'all gonna have blood on your hands, baby, for doing this. There will come a day where y'all will be accountable for all the harm that you have bestowed upon queer people. Because the universe can work really sweet. No pun intended. A lot of you queer phobic people, I'm about to pray for y'all, because the universe is about to give y'all a whole bunch of queer children. I hope y'all ready, baby, because Brian coming to the Christmas dinner with Christopher, bitch. And BubzDaGawd ain't had shit to do with that.
probably not want your child to be exposed to that, correct?
No, I would make sure they're educated about what guns are, and I would make sure they're accessing this information at age-appropriate age. That's a false comparison because
Why is that a false comparison?
guns aren't people.
Okay.
And people in their intrinsic identities aren't murderous. Guns are designed to kill things.
Yes.
LGBT+ people are designed to exist and live and love and
They're
earn
humans,
money
correct?
and work and be people. Yes.
Okay, they're humans.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's go with that. We'll take that angle. So you're talking about humans, and you're saying that humans are designed to be themselves, right? And intrinsically themselves.
Yes, we're getting so far away from the claim,
No, we're
though.
coming back
Okay,
because you're
bet.
talking
I
about
believe you.
anti-American, and I said I
Yes.
gave you that example of guns. So for me as a mom, I don't want my child, and I'm just going to say the alphabet community because it's easier than LBGT.
What about queer and trans? I think queer and trans is easier.
Queer and trans. All right. So I don't want my son exposed to queer and trans. You didn't say you don't like the word agenda. I'm trying to be nice and
Queer and trans people.
Queer and trans people. Okay, I don't want him exposed to that. I'm
Why?
a Christian and I'm faith-based, and I believe
I'm Christian
that
too.
my son should have his testicles intact until forever, not until he's 18. I want him
Yeah.
to have his testicles forever. And he actually just asked me about that last night. He said, "Mom, I think my testicles are dropping a little." I said, "No, sweetheart, you're 9. Enjoy. You got a long ways to go." Why? As parents, we want to protect our children as long as they can.
Oh, 100%.
Right? Okay, you agree. We are in agreement with that.
Yeah,
Yes, I love that.
100%.
All right, so let's keep
Go
going.
team.
I would never, in my right mind, let my son, first of all, attend a school, a public school. Second of all, attend a
That's
school.
a privileged choice, and that's
where
awesome that
there-
you're able to make it.
Correct. And I've worked very hard for that. Where there are clowns, as you called them, drag queens there.
No, I made a comparison that clowns are entertainers and drag queens are entertainers.
But they are very much so different. A clown is
Depends on the
what my-
context.
Okay, let me finish. Let me just describe, and then we'll go
We're
back.
so far away from the claim.
No, we're not. We're
Okay.
talking about an agenda here, and you're talking about it being anti-American, anti-faith, anti-Christian. I'm saying that that's not the
No,
truth.
I'm saying anti-LGBTQ+ policies
Yes.
inherently contradict the fundamental
But it
values of
doesn't.
Americanism and Christianity.
doesn't,
But what
because-
is the fundamental value of America?
Okay, well, we'll go back to Christianity, but let me finish my point, as you said you would. Okay, so I'm not letting my son be exposed because you're kind of in denial, sweetheart. You're saying that a clown is the same thing or same humor. Hold on, let me finish. Let me finish, please, dear. As the same as a drag queen. And I know for a fact what comes, if you just Google the word drag queen and children or kindergarten, you see what goes on. Those shows, the girls are in, or the men rather, are in lingerie, in scantily clad, very, very sexually explicit behavior, crazy hair and makeup. And right, and it happens, as well as the infiltration of the books in our children's school. These trans books are being put into our kids' school. I know for a fact. That's why I pulled him. I saw these books in there. You said yourself, if you had a child, you would not want him exposed to things that you didn't approve of, or you'd want him to be, quote, educated as to what is right. Why do we have to educate children to mental health challenges when men decide to castrate themselves and take off their genitals and reattach new genitals, and then they demand equal rights? That's not okay. And I'm not letting my child get exposed to that. That is anti-Christian, and that is anti-American.
Okay, so I don't find that to be a claim that addressed my claim at all.
Okay.
I would say that the fundamental value of Americanism is freedom, and the fundamental value of Christianity
Freedom
is
to
love,
what?
and anti-LGBTQ policies are contradictory to both of those
Okay,
beliefs. But back
God
to
is
your
love.
point, because you took us there, the majority of drag queen book hours have never had a reported incident. In fact, there's no pattern of reported incident, and there are cherry-picked incidents where bad people did bad things, not because they're drag queens, but because they're bad people. And
So
those
why are we
incidents
allowing
occur
it?
in
So
less
why
than
are we
1% of
even
places.
allowing this?
So what I would say is that drag queens have no statistical correlation with pedophilic behavior, with sexual violence, or
That is not true.
hold up in the club,
Okay.
or in sexually exposing
Well, we
themselves
don't
to
go- I don't
children.
go to club. What
I think
about-
clubs are
you
fun.
said
Okay, we're
faith-
getting so far
no,
away.
American and faith-based values. Let's go back to that.
Oh.
American faith-based values. Why the trans movement is not that, or is antithesis of that?
Trans people are people. What I'm telling you is that if your child is exposed to trans and queer individuals, they're no more likely to decide to become trans or queer.
Not true.
No, it is true. It
Not
is
true.
statistically proven. It is so true. It is data driven. It is
Okay,
medically
keep going,
proven.
keep
It is
going.
psychologically
I'll let
proven.
you believe
It
your
is
life.
proven.
Go ahead.
No, it's proven by hundreds
Go
of
ahead.
thousands of people, and I have no idea why you believe when you're not educated on this subject.
Not
that-
educated.
well, no, not in a like a you don't know what you're talking about way, but in a
I
you
do,
need
dear.
a medical professional. You need a psychological professional
don't need
to
one, but
address
you
this
might.
care. No, to address this care. What I'm saying is that your child is not endangered by witnessing
That
queer
is
and trans
not true.
existences. It is true.
That is not
It
true.
is
Let me give you
true.
an example.
Prove
I'll
it.
give you
Okay,
one.
let's pause. You've been voted out by the majority.
Girl. That's why I let it play. No shade. It's like, what? That's fear and ignorance right there. Your child is going to be around queer people whether you want them to or not. They are in the world. We are in the world. It is what it is. You have this narrative that queer and trans people are innately perverse, innately pedophilic, innately abusive. That is a false fucking claim. But let's play the game. If LGBT can't be for the children, neither can Christianity. Because that should also be a choice. Since we're talking about choices here. Allow them to get to a point to where they can reconcile or see or feel within themselves if that connection with Christ is real. Allow them to be able to nurture it on their own as opposed to them being born and indoctrinated into it. That means y'all gonna have to stop knocking at people's doors talking about, are you ready for Jehovah's return? No, let people make that choice. But see, when we talk about that, then people start to become what they would call us, emotional. Because their identity is wrapped up in that. And they're believing this because of what a book says and what their pastor and them says, but they cannot walk out the elements of Christ, which is the most important thing in the narrative, because everything else talks about everybody else having their own experience. Well, when Christ comes into the narrative, it teaches you how to have your own experience, or at least gives you a signpost to it, because the Bible that we have books that are missing from it. And here he came with statistics. She should have been able to fact check the shit, and they had the fact check shit there to be able to help people that verified more so his point. So we went from, we need men in the military. We went from, well, you know, man and woman. You can't have a man trying to be a woman, vice versa. Then we have, oh, men need to be men to protect the country, girl, and you faggots and trans people ain't gonna do that, and we don't want you to infect our children with that shit. Then we have a woman who literally said that she does not want to have her child around queer or trans people at all, even though your child is around queer and trans people, you just don't fucking know it, because you can't be everywhere 24/7. They're around their peers that happen to be that. Whether it's public or private, it's gonna be there. Some people send their queer children to private schools. The fuck? Let's continue further, because this is the last video before we end it for tonight, before I give my final thoughts. This is an individual named Michael. And again, if you watch the full video in its entirety by clicking the link down below, you can watch everybody's response. I was going to put more, but I just wanted to be able to make sure I got this shit done. But this is Michael, who is one of the people. And what he is claiming is that Zander, who is the individual on the left, the white dude, and the LGBTQ plus people, us, that we have a fundamental misunderstanding of Christianity. Let's take a listen to his claim.
All right, so my claim is Zander, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. My claim is Zander and LGBTQ plus people have a fundamental misunderstanding of Christianity.
Okay. What is the point of your claim?
Okay, so back when you were talking earlier, a lot of presuppositions. So you made the claim that you were a Christian. I am also a Bible-believing Jesus follower. Contrary to popular belief, the Bible says once you claim to be a Christian, it's free game as far as like judgment. So if I'm a Christian, like people can judge me, I can judge you. Like it's like non-believers, pagans, not really concerned about them. But if you're a Christian, there is certain standards. So we kind of made a lot of claims, especially in the totality of our conversation as far as like, okay, medical consensus, we kind of like we're throwing out specific terms. But when it comes to the Christian faith, when it comes to Christian religion, there is depending if you're Orthodox, Catholic, Protestant, there is a centralized authority. There is historical, biblical, traditional teachings, things that have been practiced and understood for thousands of years, right? So when it comes to things like progressive ideologies, specifically what we're seeing in the 21st century, a lot of progressive Christian beliefs are very specific political beliefs. They're not faith beliefs, they're political beliefs.
Who does Christ tell us has the right to judge Christians?
Other Christians.
No.
Yes.
Christ actually tells Christians that they should not judge other Christians, and that instead
he says
God
you will know them by their fruit.
Exactly. And that if you cast the first stone, and if you use the biblical text or the word of God to tell other people what to do or live their lives, you within yourself are casting sin and sitting within it. And so what we know is that God himself is the judge. And what we are to do is to hold our relationship with God, let others hold their relationships with God, and prevent harm. What I am saying is that LGBTQ plus existences and relationships do not create harm. Murder creates harm. I would say Christians have an obligation to call out and stop murderous policies when they see them.
Okay,
because there is not a correlation of harm that would call out the word of Christ, that is what we're seeing there. I am going to have a very hard conversation about the fact that the original biblical text would have destroyed life for millions of good Christian Americans. So what we did is we listened to the Bible and we listened to the word of Christ, who said, you do not know everything yet. Do not treat the Bible like a law. Follow the Holy Spirit. Be inspired by it and follow it through grace. And because we do so, we learn to bring in new people into the Christian faith, support them, include them, affirm them.
You're saying a lot of presuppositions, and you're saying a lot of things that, like, back when you were making the claim, right, when everyone was bringing up different studies and things that were happening, you were saying that's fundamentally not true. The things that you're saying right now are fundamentally not true, specifically because of what it's written in Scripture, right? So,
okay, didn't Jesus walk with those who society deemed to be outcasts, and he was able to know them by the Spirit? Because in order for you to get to know a bitch by the Spirit, you got to talk to them. You got to feel their energy. You got to be able to be objective to understand. You have a certain type of narrative about queer people that even when you find queer people who don't validate your motherfucking claims, nor can you validate your damn claims, you have the luxury to be able to use the Bible as a proxy to be able to say, oh, well, you're still wrong, well, you're still wrong. And it no shade when he said, according to his interpretation, with me being a Christian, that means it's free reign. Okay, then let's do that. You check my blind spot and I will check yours. Are you ready? Because he's going to bring up the 600 and something sins in the Bible, which means all of us. So I guess everybody about to be walking around with a scarlet letter in this bitch. It ain't just certain groups of people. It's going to be all of us. And that's what they're afraid of. They don't want to be included. But if you read that book, again, through the lens of organized religion, which is more judgmental to keep people in control as far as controlling them. Girl, y'all not ready. Y'all not ready, but Trump and them said you are. Project 2025 said you are. Project Esther says that you are. The manifestation that we're seeing is saying that you are. So ready or not, here it comes.
So there's people who, like, I'm not going to get into the debate of, like, sola scriptura and whether or not, like, Christians only look at the text or tradition, stuff like that. But
the word of God says we shouldn't do that.
But the point I'm making, so again, the reason why I said fundamental misunderstanding is because when it comes to reading the text and understanding the text, there's no form of, like, exegesis. There's no form of understanding context. There's no form of looking at the text and saying, hey, what is actually happening here?
There is a word in the text from Christ that says, do not treat this like a law, and I haven't told you everything yet. John 16:12 literally says, you do not have all the information now. I have not burdened you with all of the truth now.
They'll throw the Bible verse on there, but so.
And I said it less pretty,
I'll give you one example. I'll give you one example based off a point I believe you're trying to make. So when the Bible talks about don't judge others when you have a plank in your eye, you're looking at the speck in your brother's eye when you have a plank in your eye. That's not saying that you cannot judge. It's saying that when you do judge, make sure that you are holding yourself to a specific standard, right? We read it in Timothy and James when it talks about holding yourself to.
And no shade, a lot of Christians don't even look at their fucking selves. That's the problem. A lot of people have a bunch of speck of dust and all type of eye boogers in their eye boogers in your eyes. Lets me out through the years. Ice cream, candy, all that type of shit in they shit. But you trying to tell me what to do. And on top of that, who's to say that my eye's not clean? Who's not to say that I clean shit out my eye? Because that plank in my eye would be me lying about who I am. That plank in my eye would be me lying to a woman, telling her that I love her when that's not the case, that I'll never be able to love her the way she deserves to be loved. That would be the plank in my eye. To sit up here and speak ill against queer people while also being queer, that's the plank in my eye. And on top of that, no shade. People ain't got to believe what the hell you believe, because it's your motherfucking walk. So if my participation is so important in your walk, then you have a problem with your walk. That's a you problem. And that's something that you're going to have to figure out. But you don't get to project it onto me and to use me as a catalyst for this false ass way of rising up in the ranks of heaven. When Christ says you are already free. That is for those that are able to understand and to comprehend it. And a lot of you Christians ain't gonna never comprehend it. But maybe you will in this administration, because now you're gonna understand what it feels like to be a nigger. You're gonna understand what it feels like to be a haggard. You're about to understand what it feels like to be oppressed and objectified and used. All of the realities that people are believing in falsely are falling apart, which is why self-love is important, which means that no matter what falls in my life, I still got me, because I came in this bitch before this hoe was built. I'm going to leave this bitch no matter how much I've built. So if I know this, why not strengthen that connection? And again, I'm telling y'all this also from experience. There are things that I'm going to go through that my ego is trying to translate as fear, because I don't know what's going to happen. But that's also the opportunity for me to walk by faith, because when I look back over my life and I see all the things that I've dealt with in my life and how it has made me better, even though I may not be where I want to be right now as far as the manifestation in this 3D reality, by faith, energetically, by my thoughts and by my actions today, I am already bringing that to me. Which is why I do what the fuck I do. Even though shit about to become more dangerous and more scary. And it's a shame that people have to possibly lose their life for trying to live life outside of what the fuck a motherfucker says you should live your life, especially when you can't prove the harm that I'm doing. Or that you're saying that I'm doing. But let's continue further with Michael's claim about the Bible and how let's just listen.
Not to judge unharmful practices and to offer grace, to offer faith, to offer love. It also says that if you use the text to tell other people how to live their lives, then that is not Christ-like.
He's using biblical scripture. He's using the text. He's bringing up scripture. He's speaking the language, since you are a Christian. And he says he is a Christian. He is speaking the Christian language. He is bringing up scriptures. And that's the reason why I don't really like, if I was to be offered on Jubilee, I would probably have to deny it, no shade, unless I was just trying to get clout or something. Because there's no way we're going to be able to have real transformative, objective conversations in under an hour and a half. This gonna have to be what's the name of that when that old nigga had them long ass telethons and shit? Jerry Lewis telethons ass shit. It's gonna have to be its own designated network where it continues these conversations for hours. We're gonna have these people speak for a few hours. Then we're gonna have these people speak for a few hours. Then later on next week, later on the weekend, we're gonna have them all come together and speak for some hours. There are people out there that want to learn. And for the people that want to learn, we have to connect with other people to do that. That's why I love a Hope Giselle. That's why I love a Conscious Lee. That's why I love a CTV. That's why I love a Reckless Logic. That's why I love a Angelica Ross. That's why I love countless other queer people who are willing to sit the fuck down for hours and really work this shit out for real. It's not going to be fast and hot and ready like a Little Caesar's pizza with everything. Some things you're going to have to work through. Let's continue.
You're vehemently misquoting Christ.
So do you believe women should have rights?
Yes.
Then if we were to follow this lane of thinking, women would not have rights.
Who fundamentally pushed for better positions for women?
Good Christians.
Christians, yes, historically, right? So if you talk...
And now good Christians throughout the world are pushing to include LGBTQ plus people in the name of the Holy Spirit.
What does it mean to be a Christian? What is a Christian?
A Christian is someone who acts with love and the Word of God.
What is love?
What is love?
Yes.
Love is an action word. Love is showing care for other human beings in a sustainable, true way.
Okay, so I would say that is a very watered down understanding of what love is.
What would you say love is?
So love in my, and I actually been thinking about this, love is the obligation to encourage others to pursue a life that will abundantly reconcile them with God.
If that's your definition of love, half of loving relationships in the world wouldn't fit within that. So my definition works way better.
And Christianity.
No, a man and a wife don't fit under the role of holding each other exclusively accountable.
Yes,
it's
they
also
do.
about care.
Yes, they do,
it's about compassion. It's about
No, because if that was the case, the divorce rate would not be where it's at. Gays have just been married for a short period of time, and we did not drastically, up that. That's y'all alley. That's y'all realm. So again, this holy matrimony is not really holy. It's really just holes in mattress money. Okay.
Grace.
See, again, you're misunderstanding. Marriage is a specific institution that God put in place as an example for our heavenly marriage to Him, to Christ.
No,
that is the purpose. That is the purpose of marriage.
Originally, marriage, as discussed in the original text, was not like a loving marriage that we see today. What we see today is a new version of that because we continue to follow the Holy Spirit.
And no shade, marriage at that time was seen as property. It was a way to own women. It was not a loving covenant relationship where there is mutual understanding and respect and room to grow and room to be and room to explore with each other. It wasn't that. It was the fact of, bitch, you belong to me. You better never tell nobody but God.
Today is perverted. Today is perverted. People marry for love. People marry for very superficial things.
And not for property, which I would say is great.
I would say for power. People in the past marry for power. Marriage is a power play.
And also sometimes
marriage is a power play, but it's also owning property. Not everybody was a king or queen or of royalty, but there were people that did have some sort of status within towns and within cities who people would offer their daughters along with livestock, along with other things for this person's favor, for this person's hands in marriage to be able to provide wealth for their family. Like, these people, for the most part, were not marrying because I love you. These niggas was not singing Lord in a Million. It wasn't none of that going on. Wow. So gays can't experience anything. Even when there are gay people who are in love with each other. Gay people who have connected with each other, realizing that they're in this world, but they found someone who loves them and affirms them. Just like how a lot of married people have a partner that loves and affirms them. In a world sense, it's going to be hard for all of us. We want community. We want companionship. Y'all are literally trying to deny that companionship in a way that would be equal to heterosexual people. Y'all mind go to sex. Well, y'all should be having sex then. Don't worry about the sex we having, bitch. Are you having sex at all? Maybe that's the problem. Do you need some dick? If that's the case, go get you some. But don't try to stop other people from getting it because you ain't getting none. They got roses now. I'm just saying.
Literally property. I'm not just like saying
Sure, and historically, right?
And in the Bible.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, again, my point is there's a fundamental misunderstanding of the text because you said,
I agree.
Because you said Christianity means to love. People always say things like, oh, the greatest commandment is to love. Again, when I talk about context, the greatest commandment is love in the context of the 10 Commandments. So
then why didn't Jesus ass say that shit when he said it in the Bible? Why wasn't there a footnote that claimed that this is what he was talking about? Why didn't he why did the author of that chapter, that book, did not include the fact that he was saying it in the context of that? Especially when he came to make a New Testament. A New Testament. And he knew that people was going to struggle to try to access higher levels of consciousness. So he said, if you just want the basic package, if you just want the entry-level package, if you just wanted the trial version run of it, do two things. And please get the fuck up out my face and go do it so you can actually be a living testimony and tell everybody else so I can go sit my ass down instead of having to travel to town for a bunch of motherfuckers who gonna vote for Barabbas Trump to unalive me. Love the Lord God with all that you are, which includes loving yourself, because you are the connection to God expressed through this avatar, the physical body. And to just love other people the way that you love your damn self. Treat people the way you want to be treated. So if you're going to come in a discriminatory type of way and say you're coming in with love, then don't feel some type of way when I come through the Bible and say it with love as well, in the same energy that you're giving me. Let's do it in love, girl. Let's just say thank you. Thank you for checking my blind spot. Maybe we should do that. Maybe that'll help us be accountable. Bubs, I got your blind spot, man. Thank you, man. But I got yours too. Oh, we saving each other from hell. Ain't we saving each other from... See how we can transmute this shit? And y'all not gonna do that because for some reason y'all believe that y'all exempt. Y'all believe that God gonna choose y'all, or y'all fearful. I hope God choose me, girl. So if you gotta hope that God choose you, and then I guess Christ died in vain. See, queer people's existence and willing to love themselves is actually the manifestation of the promise that Christ made to all humans. He said, fuck worshiping the man me. Worship the mind in me. Worship the spirit in me that's also in you. And that's for anyone who's willing to receive it. You don't have to... That same energy is expressed in different ways across the world. That's why I say God, source, universe, consciousness, all that stuff, because it is different names, different expressions of the same thing. And I am just willing to accept that. There are so many people who are not, because if they were, then that means that all this time, all this effort, all this energy that I've been believing in this deity to help transform my life has been a fucking lie. When in actuality, that whole deity was trying to get you to see the God in you. The fuck? And then you get mad at queer people who actually believe that. Which is why Zander, for the most part, slayed every motherfucker over there, because they were all just trying to find different ways to regurgitate the same fucking point without facts. They used the Bible and they used fear, and that is the ultimate tools. That is the ultimate combination, girl, for a form of destruction. It is using Christ in a low vibrational way, low vibrational viewpoint. The way that they're operating as far as discrimination is literally contrary to what Christ did. It is a majoring in what Christ minored in. So when you talk about context, you can do it because you're straight. But a gay person who has to work twice as hard to educate themselves about this, to be in places where they're going to deal with the queer phobia and still make a choice to still focus and keep their eyes stayed on Jesus, on the Christ energy, to be able to come through and say, I also have these findings as well. And not only am I just talking about this, I'm applying this in my life and it's transforming my life. These people want to ignore that. I'm sick and tired of weak ass Christians. Go sit your ass down. Go in your prayer closet and ask the Lord to restore your strength, because you stopping other people from their connection ain't gonna do shit but hinder yours.
On that conversation where they're talking about the 10 Commandments, the 10 Commandments is, first of all, the 10 Commandments is a summary of like more than 600 laws, right? That were in place, not just in Old Testament Israel, but also
said he fulfilled those laws. And he added new meaning to them, because God's word is perfect, but man's understanding of it is not.
No. Man's understanding is not, and that's why Christ came and corrected us. So my point is, the context of the 10 Commandments, right, is in the context of there was more than 600 laws. It boiled it down to 10, and then Jesus boiled it down to 2, which people like to quote, love your neighbor. The first is actually love the Lord your God, right? In the context of the 10 Commandments, it is my theological opinion that the greatest commandment is when God says, be holy, for I am holy.
I respect that opinion.
The reason why is because, again, my point is the fundamental misunderstanding of Christianity. Your position is that Christianity means that come as you are, stay as you are. That is fundamentally not true.
I didn't say that.
You are saying it because
I think that Christians like you who use the Bible and the Word of God to hate others need to reflect on that and become more Christ-like.
So you agree with my point when I said that your understanding of love is to affirm. That is not a biblical definition of love.
I'm not telling you need to change your faith. I'm saying that it is my
I'm not talking about faith.
You are not Christ-like in these actions and behaviors.
I'm saying that if a Christian believes that if I have a child and I believe that child is made in the image of God, and God made them male or God made them female, and then someone comes along and says that they're not male or they're not female, that is contrary. It comes as a divide between what God intended.
That is you thinking that you know that person's relationship with God better than they do.
It's not about.
I trust that their relationship with God showed them who they were, and it is our duty to love and support them as Jesus Christ would.
Again, fundamental misunderstanding. I'm not talking about their
Jesus Christ
relationship with God. I'm not talking about their relationship with God. So you brought up sex workers, right? The adulterous woman comes. The Pharisees brought the adulterous woman to Jesus, so we caught her in the act, right? Some people say, it's like, how did the Pharisees catch her in the act, right? It's like, what were they doing, right?
Exact shady.
Jesus, in his proper context of love, criticized them, says he without sin cast the first stone.
I would say you're bringing LGBTQ plus people to Jesus and saying they're bad, and he would say
it's not their bad.
Mind your business. No. And he would affirm the love of us. And even beyond that example, I don't think he would tell us to do anything differently because there is nothing harmful being done. I even think in today's worldview, sex work would be respected by Christ.
And this is why I think it's a fundamental misunderstanding. And this isn't just a progressive LGBT issue. I think there are people in general who have a misunderstanding what Christianity is about. Christianity isn't good guys and bad guys.
Agreed.
Christianity is we're all bad guys. We're all bad guys. And
we're all imperfect.
We're all fundamentally sinful. It's not we're imperfect. We all sin. Fundamentally in sin.
I think it's unhealthy to think we're all bad people. I think we all sin. I think we're all God's creation.
We are bad in the context of we are not God. So the way I kind of define sin, it's not a matter of you did this, you did that. Sin basically means to miss the mark, right? It means that God is the standard and we will never meet that standard. So to me, sin simply means I am not God and I'm not capable of being God. And because I'm not God, I am not holy. And because of that, the Bible says I'm born into sin, right? So when I say fundamental misunderstanding of Christianity when it comes to specifically progressives, LGBT groups, is that they think it's like, okay, we're imperfect, right? But it's more of a Gnostic understanding. It's like, well, we strive each day, and as we gain more knowledge, as we read more studies, we'll somehow attain some kind of like understanding that we'll get closer to God.
So you brought up measure by the fruit. And I would say that when we view LGBTQ plus people,
what are the fruit?
I'm about to describe it in the context of our conversation. If we measure LGBTQ plus people in their fruit and what they produce for this world and how they contribute and how they show up and how they exemplify, it is positive, it is good, and it adds value to our experience.
What does the Bible say the fruit of the Spirit are?
When we think about anti-LGBTQ plus policies,
what is the fruit?
We see harmful. The fruit of the Spirit, I think that's up for interpretation. For me, it's what we bring to the world.
The Bible literally says what the fruit of the Spirit is.
I know, but the Bible also says a variety of things that Jesus Christ tells us to interpret in a more graceful manner. I would say the fruit of the Spirit is how we bring value to this world.
If you love me, you will keep my commandments, right? And you will know them by their fruit. The fruit of the Spirit is a myriad of things.
Himself.
And there's one fruit of the Spirit. I like to call it the forgotten fruit of the Spirit. It's the last one mentioned. It's self-control.
Forgotten fruit is catchy.
It's self-control, right? It means that in this imperfect world, we're going to have struggles. If in the context of LGBT people, that is their struggle, and the fruit of the Spirit is self-control.
I would say that self-control applies to eating junk food or drinking alcohol.
It applies to all things, but in the context,
but not about limiting who you are as a human being.
Okay, that's time. Thank you.
Girl. Shout out to those of you that are still here. Before I get to my last and final thoughts, if you are a person who is a Christian and you are queer, and you are in churches, environments that is willing to label you and stigmatize you without getting to know you at all, that have the luxury and the privilege to write your ass off and your experience off as a footnote and then say they know all about it, you need to leave those spaces. You need to leave those places. The reason why I can confidently say that all this shit is queerphobia, because it's nothing but fear, and that fear is being validated with a book. Because when you have queer people, and I've said it before, who end up leaving those spaces and go somewhere else and create their own places of worship, since other people don't want to worship with them, these people still go out of their way. These queerphobic people still go out of their way to be able to go to these spaces and tell them to repent or perish. This is not an in-house thing. This shit has bled out into the world. And if a person's sexual identity, sexual orientation or gender identity or expression is conflicting you with your walk with Christ, that's something that you gotta work on, boo. Because y'all gonna fuck around and attract people who gonna let your ass have it. And there are some people that if you overstep that boundary, girl, you ain't gotta worry about interpreting to the Lord. You could ask him directly. And to his point about fundamentally, or whatever the case may be, people don't have to subscribe to Christianity. This is a place where you have freedom of religion, which means you can believe what you want to believe. As long as you're not harming me or anyone else, I don't give a damn. If the person on the side of me, on the left of me, believes there are 20 gods, and the one on the right of me believes there are none, are they taking money out of my pocket? Are they taking food off of my table and out of my fridge? Is my internet fucking up? Is it making my Xfinity bill go up higher than what it already is with ComScam? No. And again, if gayness, if LGBT is so fucking powerful, if sexual awareness, or I'm trying to find a word for it because it's escaping me right now, but I'm going with sexual awareness and connection and stuff like that is so fucking harmful and just so influential when it comes down to gay people. It's just, if you got a gay or a trans person around you, just it gives off a pheromone or something, like it's some damn The Walking Dead, The Last of Us spore shit, girl. They just sneeze, they fart, girl, and it just gets all up in your nostrils and shit, fuck you up. If it's that powerful, then why am I not straight? Why is Jackie Hill Perry not fully straight? Why is Donnie McClurkin not fully straight? Why were there so many thousands of gay men who unalived themselves because they could not become straight for real? This man just said that for the queer community, basically they're going to have to control themselves, which means that you're going to have to be abstinent. We've heard religious people say to queer people that if your ass cannot conform, if you ain't going to play the confirmation game, you ain't going to get married, you ain't going to try to have kids and pretend that your ass straight, and whatever you do, at least do it in the dark and be smart about it. But if you can't find yourself to be able to, or bring yourself to be able to do that, then go ahead and just live a life of celibacy, and God will honor you in that. And then those same individuals are thinking about unaliving themselves when they wake the fuck up. And these are grown-ass men having wet dreams like they were a young child. Didn't mean to do it, but in their mind and in their spirit and their soul, the connection for them, what they're repressing, came out because the church does not know how to deal with that. We clearly understand that from the last a few lives we did before, where there were pastors contacting a prophetess, a man contacting a woman about some Christ shit, when the man's supposed to know everything because the woman should shut the hell up and learn her shit at home from her husband. About queer people and stuff like that. Y'all don't care. And I want queer people to understand that they don't care. And I also want queer people to understand that you're going to have to learn how to defend yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, verbally, financially, psychologically. These people are willing to harm us because they don't agree. They don't understand. And let me give my final closing thoughts, which is addressed to the parents. Devo Davenport said, I left my church at the beginning of this year. I feel so free now, liberated from religion. No shade, because it's all about personal relationship. Organized religion, for the most part, all they want to do is profit off of your hurt and your pain. And for the people that saying, oh, you got church hurt. No, I healed from the church. But the church is also worthy of critique, and they definitely need it. Especially if they're saying they're for the people. You can't sit up here and tell me that you connected to God and you connected to love and holiness. Meanwhile, it's all type of unalivings happening around your church. People dying every damn day through gun violence. The one thing that this individual on the screen brought up, Zachary. I think that's his name. Shout out to him. But let me go ahead and give my final thoughts. And this is entitled The Fear That You Pass Down. I'm going to label it like a sermon. The fear that you pass down. Let me cut the music up a little bit more. Based on everything that we saw tonight, you tell yourself, and again, this is for the individuals who was meant for, you tell yourself you're afraid your child will be turned, that they'll become gay or trans or something that makes you uncomfortable. But let's cut through all the lies, bitch. Let's cut through the bullshit. You're not afraid of them. We're not afraid of the gay community. What am I afraid of? You're right. You're not afraid of them. You're afraid of your motherfucking self. See, you're afraid of what the neighbors will say, or what your church will whisper about your ass, or what your ego cannot handle. Your fear that you have was never really about protecting them. It was about protecting you. And while you clutch your Bible, while you quote your hotep gods, while you hide behind conspiracy theories like we heard throughout this whole entire bitch and sermons, your child is dying. Not in the streets. Even though there are queer children dying in the streets. Look at the rate of homelessness amongst queer youth. Not in the clubs, not at a very large rate, even though there have been individuals that have lost their lives in the club. R.I.P. to the victims of Pulse and other nightclubs that had those dark experiences happen to them. But the majority of them, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, are dying in your house, in their bedroom, in their silence. You fear, what will the community say about me? Oh my God. The boys just said that they liking my son's a fag. I had to fight and lose my damn job because they said that to me. So you fear what the community will say about you. But they fear, the queer people, the queer youth, they fear, will I survive my own home? You fear, well, this isn't the life that I prayed for. This isn't the life that God asked, what the Lord wanted from you. They fear, the queer youth, this isn't the death that I wanted either. You fear, how will I explain this? How will I explain this to my family, to my friends, to my church family, to the people at my job, to those in the community, the motherfucker around the block, the nigga that's a stranger and shit, the homeless man asking me for $1? How am I going to explain this? And they fear, again, the queer youth, they fear, how much longer can I hold on? And that hits hard for me because that's exactly how I felt when I was younger, when I had my first suicide attempt. But let's get into some real life examples in this bitch. For example, Nigel Shelby. I'm gonna need for y'all to Google shit and do your fucking homework. Okay? Nigel Shelby. 15 years old. He couldn't pray the gay away. Just like so many others who couldn't pray the gay away. Unfortunately, he couldn't outlast your silence, so the silence killed him. Carl Joseph Walker Hoover. 11 years old. We talking about children, protecting the children, right? He hadn't even kissed anyone, hadn't even said who he was, didn't even say if he liked girls, didn't like boys, wasn't nobody's business. But the names you taught your sons to spit because he didn't verify himself. Faggot, punk, sissy. Those words drove him, unfortunately, to a fucking rope. Jaheim Herrera, another 11-year-old. Every day he heard the words you first whispered in barbershops with y'all fooping big asses and pulpits. And one day he decided that he wasn't going to hear them no more. See, these are not statistics, even though that's what they unfortunately end up being in this society. But these are tombstones in this bitch that y'all have built with y'all fears. Let's talk about the generational cycle in this bitch and what y'all do. And don't y'all dare, because it will be intellectually, emotionally, empathetically dishonest, and it's going to allow me to cuss your motherfucking ass out. Don't you dare pretend you don't know where your child learned all that transphobic shit from, all that queer shit. My son calling people fags, my son calling people punks and sissies, my son beating up the person and bullying them. Don't act like y'all don't know where they learned that shit from. Every slur they spit in the hallway, they learned that shit at your dinner table. Every shove into the damn locker, it started in the barber's chair. Okay? Every laugh on the playground, it's the echo of your silence. And your silence? That wasn't born with you. See, that was your parents' silence. So again, do you see how we're seeing this generational curse? How they're protecting the youth and protecting the children. Do your research. They said the same thing about queer people during the 60s and 70s. And before then. So again, all this bullshit that we done seen spewed, especially in the Jubilee shit against the LGBT activists that was based in fear and ignorance, labeled up in the name of God. That wasn't true reality, true genuine reality. That was the fear and the parents' silence. It was the parents' sermons. It was their punishments and it was their shame. See, you were fed this fear. We all were fed their fear. My father fed it to me when he was ignorant, but he's transformed himself into a better human being now. See, you were fed their fear. And now you're feeding that exact same fear to your children. A curse, if you will, passed down like a family heirloom, generation after generation. The fear is recycled. The hatred is reincarnated. A noose made out of your grandmother's hymns and your grandfather's lies. Cat daddy liquor store ass, Papa's was a Rolling Stone ass lies. So when you shrug and say, well, hey, kids are just going to be kids. Kids are assholes. They learned that shit from y'all. So when you shrug and say that, remember, kids are cruel. They're cruel. They're assholes. But they're assholes with your words in their mouths. They're violent with your silence in their bones, right? They're killing each other with your fear. And y'all have the nerve to sit up here on Beyonce's good fucking internet girl and 2K, 4K, and whatever else K girl and say that you're protecting them. But you're not protecting your child from the world. You're feeding your child to the world. See, you are the first overseer in this bitch. You are the first bully in this hoe, unfortunately. You are, as the title claims, the first executioner. And the world is already trying to kill them. And if you don't love them, if you don't stand for them, then you cannot objectively stand up here and fucking tell me that you are protecting them because you are not their protector. When you operate in fear and ignorance, which requires you to not love them and not stand for them and stand with them, again, you're not the protector. You are the rope. You are the noose. And understand, you are the nail. Walking around with this hammer-ass mindset. And here's the part a lot of y'all don't want to face. Right? When you choose ignorance, as we saw. When you choose fear, as we saw. When you choose to preach silence instead of love. That man said, hey, you gay niggas, y'all want to be honored by God? Be celibate for the rest of your life. I don't know how you're going to do it. That's not my burden. Hey, but it's yours because you're gay. So be quiet. Instead of love, you don't just wound your child. You serve your child no shade. Shout out to Blame It on the Dress. You are low-key serving your child up to the god of white supremacy. Every time you shame them, black people. Every time you pray the gay away, black people. Every time you mock, laugh, or stay quiet, black people. You feeding that God. You making that God stronger. And you make your child weaker. Look at the presidency today. Like, do y'all really understand? Every Hotep myth that you spread on that Umar shit. Every scripture you twist to destroy. Every time you say, well, not my child, you become the executioner. Not the church, even though they doing it. Not the streets, even though they doing it. You, the parent, the one who's supposed to be the manifestation of God loving you unconditionally through all of your experiences and your mistakes. And yet, there is still a path. But the path is narrow. It is costly, as it said. The field is plentiful, but the laborers are few. The only way to kill the fear, and I'm reminding myself of this when I have my ego deaths coming up. The only way to kill the fear is to starve it. And the only way to starve it is to, listen here, the one thing these people have been fighting to do the whole time that Christ said to do, bitch. But love that drowns out the choir of fear. So lastly, if you didn't hear anything, I want you to hear me now. The question that I leave you with is not, what if my child is gay or trans? The question is, will you be their parent? Not just in title, but an application. Because a mama bear is going to fight for all her cubs. Regardless of what go happen with their cubs, it's her cubs. So are you going to be their parent, or are you going to be their fucking grave digger? And I want y'all to look at the stats before you answer that fucking question. I want y'all to research before you answer that question. I want you to get in your prayer closet and say, Father God, Holy Ghost, Spirit, whatever you got to pray to, pray it down and say, just give me the strength to be able to educate myself, and whatever I fear, whatever I deal with, whatever comes up, help me to be able to deal with it, because I love my child. Just like how Christ loved his, to sin for all of us according to the narrative. And yet you deny that same experience for your fucking child. Because Christ didn't have to die. Y'all made that the choice. But yeah, thank y'all so much for rocking with me for this live. I really appreciate it. I was not expecting it to be this damn long. I wonder if the person I'm supposed to be talking to or catching up with after this live, girl, is gonna even be up. We gonna see. But yes, thank y'all so much for joining me for this live. I really do appreciate it. If you can, please make sure you hit that like button because it helps the channel to grow in the algorithms. We are at 944 subscribers on the road to 1K, slowly but surely. I'm kind of glad that things are kind of taking this time because what I'm trying to remind myself is that no matter what happens, I'm always be on time. I got to remind myself. I may not be on time for other people, bitch, but I'm on time for me. And that's what I'm supposed to be on. Okay, so yes, by you guys liking the platform, it helps the channel to grow. So again, thank you to all the new subbies, all of my OGs. I appreciate all of y'all. Thank y'all. It also, if you like the vibe over here on BubzDaGawd, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you can stay up to date with all of my content. And whether it's live or edited, stay on the lookout for Blame It on the Dress. Okay. What else? If there's anything I said in this live that you want to critique, if you disagree, if you want to use my video, read the fuck out of me, drag me in the name of the Lord, I give you full permission to do that. You have the right. I'm not against freedom of speech because if I'm against that, that's being against me. So you have a right to share your opinions, your perspective, and your thoughts. And I kind of want you to do that so that I know where everybody stands. The more information, the better. All I ask is that you tag me, BubzDaGawd. Don't be scared. Tag me so that I know that is real. And if you feel compelled, you can definitely hit me up in the Cash App, $ BubzDaGawd. We take everything that jingles and folds, no shade. It does take a lot of work to be able to create these lives as far as editing, screen recording, getting everything organized, thumbnail generation. I'm getting better at it, but it is time consuming. I was not expecting to be up at almost 3 o'clock in the morning with this live. I low-key was trying to get this shit done earlier, but life be life. And so if you feel compelled and want to contribute to the platform, you definitely can. Again, $ BubzDaGawd. We appreciate it. Shout out to Devo Davenport being in the building. Glad to have you here. Thank you for joining us. We had Extra Smoking the Dragon, who is not feeling really good, but shout out to him, and I hope that things get better for him, especially with this situation as a veteran. There are other people that I know who are veterans who are kind of going through some things as well, so I hope things get better, especially for those who put their lives on the line to protect us. So I do say thank you. Shout out to the Black Anarchist Podcast for coming through. Make sure, again, you check out his book and buy it. The link is in the description box below. Shout out to those in the bushes. Shout out to the replay gang. Shout out to everybody. And until next time, everybody, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. And we is out in this mug. Let me cut my damn music off. And we is out in this mug. Peace.
Can be anything I choose in this round. We are a sound vibration too deep to tell. Just so you know, I'm the best in the motherfucking world.
Formed against me shall prosper. Oh, it won't work. No weapon formed against me. Give me that ad lib again. No weapon. One more time. No weapon. One more time. No weapon. Who the fuck y'all hoes think? Okay, the facts are back. Bitch. Who the fuck y'all hoes think it was, bitch, or what time of day it was? Okay.
You gotta understand that this is a community-based project. We're not getting any funding from the government. I seen bitches out there talking about, wait till Trump hears about this. Trump can suck my dick.